Welcome into the program, folks. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show, and Montgomery needs a new mayor. Anyway, it's primary day, and I already voted. I already went and did my duty after Mass, and it was light. I got in and out very quick, and of course we've been talking about District 6 with Gary Palmer and Case Dixon, and of course it's very crowded District 2 field. And joining us, Alabama's own, Montgomery's own, well, she is from the Wiregrass too, Katie Britt. Senator Britt is here.
Hey, how are you, Joey?
I'm great. How you doing?
I am so happy to be home. I am so happy to be home and excited to be in here with you today.
So I think it's the only person you outright endorsed in the cycle is Rhett Marcus, and this was early on before the district changes.
Yes, it was District 1, I believe, at the time when we got engaged.
So I would love for you to tell the folks out there why vote for Rhett Marcus.
So Rhett is a small businessman who understands what we're dealing with right now. I think that's something that we've got to do more of and do better, is to drill down and say, how can people actually achieve the American dream? I mean, we're seeing gas prices obviously come down, but we need them to come down to a level where it really affects people's lives in a positive way. So working through that, also working through the fact that when we have government regulation, big government, people forget about the little guy. And in my opinion, the little guy, the small business owner, the people who, believe in what is possible and are working to do that in their community, are the people who make America so great. Rhett has that perspective. I have seen him, I have known him for a number of years, so I know him to be a man of character. I know him to be a man of diligence and hard work, and I know him to be a problem solver. I think we've moved into this space in the country right now where you've got a lot of people who want to talk about issues.
Sure.
And I think they'd come sit in here and probably talk to you about them. But it's not unique to that. It's on cable news or even now social media. They give something punchy about an issue they know people care about, but they have absolutely no desire, or even do they have the intentionality of actually working through that problem, working through that issue for the people they serve. I have seen Rhett on a number of levels actually do the hard work. And I don't want someone who's a showman or who wants to be the next social media star. I want someone who's going to put their head down and grind for the people of our state, for the people of their district. And now, uniquely, I have the opportunity to actually live in the district where he would serve. And when I am looking at Montgomery and the possibilities here, I believe that we continue to not meet the mark in what we could do and who we could be and what we could provide for the people who live here, whether it's safety or opportunity. And I want a true partner in Congress that'll do that for this community and the community they serve. And I think Rhett is that person.
Yeah, when I interviewed Rhett, I was starting to put two and two together, because Rhett in the legislature here in Alabama replaced Barry Moore, and Barry's probably going to be the next senator. I think he's going to win the general.
Barry lives next door to my grandfather.
Right, and this is what I'm about to say.
I mean, right?
Is this like
Kinda
a little
wild.
bit of an enterprise mafia sort of thing going on? What is this?
Well, we've had a North Alabama mafia for
Yeah,
quite
true.
some time. Somebody said something to me the other day, Joey, and I was like, wait a second, guys, hold on. Everybody, whether it's the speaker or the pro tem or the leader or the lieutenant governor or the attorney general, has been from not just North Alabama, but a concentrated area in North Alabama for some time. Obviously, I was born and raised in Enterprise. I have not lived there since I was 18. Right. I have lived kind of all over the state as an adult. Tuscaloosa, where I went back to school with two babies, lived in Birmingham, where Wesley had a job there, lived in Montgomery, then went to DC for a short stint, just over 2 years, and then came back to call Montgomery home. So raising my family here, and while I'll always call the Wiregrass home, proud to be a resident here, and certainly my kids call Montgomery home. Obviously, Barry Moore, who is going to be our next senator, actually, like I said, lives next door to my grandfather. And I do have a little bit of a fun fact for you.
All right.
Okay, so I do a bipartisan Senate prayer breakfast every week. And so I'm the lead Republican, and actually Tim Kaine is the lead Democrat. And we take turns each week getting various speakers to come in, different senators. And it's a really it's a pretty great group and an opportunity to reflect on why we're there and shared humanity and certainly in that faith-based space. But one day I learned from Tim Kaine that there are actually, at the time, there are two pairs of senators in the United States Senate that graduated from the same high school. Okay?
Wow.
And now when Barry Moore is elected, and I look forward to that day, there will actually be three. So, trivia, do you know who any of those are?
Other than you and Barry, not really.
No. Okay. So there's two Democrats. It's Bernie Sanders and
Bernie.
Chuck Schumer graduated from the same high school.
Makes sense.
And then Barry and I will be the two Republicans graduating from Enterprise High School. And as you know, Rhett actually is from Baldwin County, so he graduated from school there. But Barry and I there. And then there is a bipartisan group, and that is Tim Kaine and Josh Hawley.
Oh, wow.
And they graduated from the same high school. So you think of 330 million people, you think of 100 United States senators. Isn't that wild that there would be 6 people that, I mean,
That is wild.
it is.
Well, and it
really
shows
is.
it's like, when you go look at classic rock, I think Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page all went to the same high school in Britain. Like everybody, sometimes there's something in the water.
Maybe there's something. I've always said it's a great school, great community, great people.
Now, we're limited on time here, so folks, get out and vote today. Like, seriously,
Yes.
there was like nobody there. It only takes a second.
Totally
it's
agree.
one race on the ballot, whether it's District 2 or District 6.
And look, I obviously have made public, who I'm supporting, but no matter who you were supporting or where you are, we need you to go vote. The numbers that we saw in the last primary, Joey, that was absolutely, that was a sad day for Alabama that we didn't have more people get out and vote. And so, guys, call your friends. Obviously, I'm supporting Rhett Marcus, but call your friends, call your family, remind them that today is the day. We've got to show up and do our civic duty and let our voice be heard. And so get out and vote. Try to figure out how you can get there. We need you.
No, and we can, at some other point, get into data centers and AI, and there's so much we could talk about.
I have so much I want to talk to you about on that. And I also want to talk to you about clarity.
Right.
I want to talk to you about, the Senate,
Yes.
obviously, all of the things.
Foreign policy, by the way.
Yes,
A lot of crazy stuff.
A ton of stuff. And I just, helped lead the effort after my dear friend, Senator Lindsey Graham, passed away to get that bill across the finish line in the
Sorry about
Senate. And I would love to tell you some Lindsey Graham stories too. I think you would find them fascinating and it would give you a good laugh. But working now to figure out how do we get that through the House. We also have the NIL bill, which I'd like to talk about because that's got a lot of things that I think people aren't really being thoughtful about that I think we need to have a larger conversation on. And then, of course, Save America. I was proud to be on the floor, Joey, when we voted to either stay in or go home, and I voted to stay in. I said I did not want to adjourn. It was a voice vote, but I'm disappointed that we weren't able to get that across the finish line as well.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm doing the show solo more often, so you really are welcome when you have some random afternoon.
I'm home,
to
so
guest host the show.
I would love to. I am obviously, my daughter is a senior, so made
that's
sure
first,
made sure that we were here for all of those things. And I'll be traveling the state, but on the days that I am here, I would love some time to come in and talk about some of these things. You should ask your audience. What do they want us to talk about?
Oh, absolutely.
What of
I'm
these
sure
things?
they'll come up with something.
That we could get real interesting.
Now, real quick, how do you feel about the midterms right now, Senate and House?
I think when we're particularly look at Michigan, I think the kind of people that the Democrats are putting forth right now, I think that should scare everybody across the country because these aren't people with a different view of how we achieve the American dream. They actually want to crush and kill the American dream. Yeah. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can take theirs. There are comment after comment, people that they are supporting and embracing that, believe America is responsible for 9/11, like Hussein Piker, the things he's saying about, wanting to essentially eliminate the white middle class. Right. The words of it is they're eerie. And I think America will wake up because I think exposure to the kinds of people that the Democratic Party is now electing that are these Democrat Socialists of America that are saying some pretty wild things, like the candidate there in New York who said that she would rather wipe her hand on the American flag. She didn't need a napkin. Look, we can always work to form a more perfect union, and I am committed to that. There are things we need to do better and places where we can be better, but we have the greatest country across the planet, and I think that people will wake up, but I do think that we've got to step up our game, and I think we've got to tell the American people what we want to do, and I think we have to work diligently as one group to actually achieve that. But I think you've got a lot of races to watch, so we could also talk through that too, whether that's even, you've got the ones that are on people's board, where you're talking about Georgia or North Carolina, where people believe that, Democrats maybe have an edge at this point, but you've got Ohio, you've got New Hampshire, you've got Michigan, you've got Alaska that's in play at this point. Dan Sullivan is outstanding, and I want to see him get across the finish line and believe he will. But Iowa, there's a number of races that we could kind of drill down and talk about. But at the end of the day, I think when America takes a look at the kinds of people that are now running the Democratic Party, I believe that we will ultimately be victorious on Election Day.
Folks, United States Senator Katie Britt. We'll be right back after this great scene.
Thank you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
You can't control interest rates. You can't control housing inventory. And you definitely can't control what the national news decides to panic about this week. But here's what you can control. You control your timing. You decide when it's the right time to buy, when it makes sense to refinance, and when to tap into your equity to renovate, invest, or consolidate debt and free up monthly cash flow. Real estate decisions aren't one size fits all, and they shouldn't be driven by headlines or social media noise. They should be based on your goals, your finances, and your life. The smartest moves happen when you focus on what you can control and work with someone who helps you see the full picture. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is Star values. Secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The financial markets are readying for this week's main event. The official government July inflation update will be released tomorrow. Economists expect inflation slowed to 3.4% from 3.5% in June. That would relieve pressure on the Fed to raise interest rates, especially given Friday's very weak employment report. Following a recent spike, oil prices appear to have stabilized, at least for now. After being up about 2.5% early, Brent crude oil dropped a few pennies to $87.61 per barrel. U.S. benchmark crude ticked up a couple of cents to $82.19 per barrel. The Vietnamese aerospace company VinSpace has just signed a contract with Elon Musk's SpaceX. Vietnam's first satellites are expected to be launched in 2027. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather. It's a different day, but it's the same story. Look for a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to the middle 90s. And with that crazy humidity, look for heat indices in the 102 to 105 range easy. Lows at night in the mid 70s. And stop me if you heard this. There will be scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Feast or famine. And that'll be the story every day this week with middle 90s each day expected and dangerous heat indices. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It's great seeing Katie. And I thought it only fair. Her team reached out to me after myself and Dick Brubaker and others beating up on Rhett Marcus pretty hard. It's only fair to have the person who endorsed Rhett come on, give their point of view, and look forward to having her back. Door is always open, especially to have a much longer discussion about all sorts of stuff out there under the sun. And y'all get out and vote. Again, special primary election, it will literally take you less than a minute. Like it might take a little more time during lunch, but I highly doubt it. There are not a lot of people just showing up or even thinking about it. So that means at this point, your vote makes a huge difference. Huge difference. You are essentially being delegated if you go vote to speak for thousands and thousands of people who decided not to show up on this special primary day. And again, this is, well, anybody's game, especially in a crowded race like District 2. But of course, if you are in the listening audience, you might be in District 6, choice between Gary Palmer and Case Dixon. Get out there and vote. It's really easy this time around. It's not like a presidential election where you're having to plan your whole day around it. You can get this done, folks. And of course, it's back to school time, so I get that everybody's schedules have completely changed up, and everybody's got something they got to deal with. But get out there, go vote. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. A few rundowns of headlines here. Woke One was crazy, as AOC said yesterday. Isn't that right, AOC?
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Yeah,
oh, really? Don't even play.
I'm not playing. You said that. And I'm not a baby girl. Woke One was crazy, she said yesterday. But they still believe every bit of it, folks. We can get into that. Trump said Democrats are nominating jihadist candidates who plan to get rid of the Senate and are a midterm disaster waiting to happen. You just heard Senator Brett say essentially the same thing, that some of these folks that are being promoted on the left, and this could be part of a longer conversation we were having yesterday, as much as certain reasonable people in the Democratic Party want to keep things tamped down, we're in a new age. We're in a completely new age, especially with the younger generations. The old gatekeeping mechanisms of our media and so many other institutions, they just aren't as effective as they used to be. So I think you're going to see more of this in the Democratic Party. Some in this cycle, but I think get ready for 2028. It's going to be a wild ride. No more Trump. Trump is no longer, he might run. Why not? I know it's not constitutional, but why not do it? Yeah, he's not going to run, guys. So we'll get into all that. A report came out that the FBI started a criminal investigation of Attorney General Jeff Sessions 1 day after James Comey was fired. 1 day. It was being led by disgraced FBI official Bill Priestap. He was in charge of that investigation. And, especially because I am no longer the cynical, black-jacketed stoner libertarian that I once was. Though, if you live that life, aren't you always a little bit that way, I suppose? But the more I look back, especially with clearer eyes these days, at Jeff Sessions, man, he got screwed. Like, it was Jeff Sessions who was ahead of the game on so much of this populist wave. On immigration. On foreign policy. On just generally how Washington, D.C. was not looking out for everyday people. the financialization of the economy. Like so many things where the average person was getting a raw deal. Jeff Sessions was ahead of the game. And in fact, he's the guy, I believe, Bannon and a few others. Stephen Miller, of course, comes out of Jeff Sessions' office. That's how I've had a chance to have some correspondence with Stephen Miller a few years back. You know, just quick scheduling stuff, but it's amazing to see where certain people end up. And so to see, like, well, Bannon's out, but that's really a personality flaw of sloppy Steve. But to see Jeff Sessions get screwed in the way he did, I think he would have been a very upstanding attorney general. And I think what's a shame is because of how upstanding he is, they use that against him. Like he's literally a Boy Scout. I'm not saying he's naive. I'm not putting it that way. I'm saying Jeff Sessions was willing to stand on principle even when it wasn't of interest maybe in the immediate moment, which is the sort of people you would want up there. But instead, he gets run out of town, destroyed by the intelligence community, destroyed by the corporate media. And the FBI opened up a criminal investigation of him as soon as Comey was fired. That corrupt, jolly green giant. Ah. Now, speaking of being a stoner, ER visits for brutal scrummating weed disorder have gone up nearly 400% since October. It's an insane, let's say it's never happened to me personally, but I've witnessed somebody go through it firsthand. The only thing that would help it was a hot shower, where it is literally vomiting and screaming. That's why it's called scrummating. And it's from, I suppose, too much, or it affects everybody's physiology is unique. So not everybody that smokes a lot of weed ends up having this effect, but we can get into the 400% increase since October. I suspect it might be very, very, very high levels of THC. And as much as I think prohibition failed, and I still do believe that in a lot of ways, there needs to be some education of people. Because I think what people are effectively doing is drinking an entire bottle of vodka with some of the stuff they end up ingesting, smoking, vaping, edibles, whatever. Like you're taking way too much, man. Way too much. Thus, you're ending up vomiting and screaming as you do it for hours on end. Also, another disturbing story of an OBGYN sued. Why do you think an OBGYN would be sued, especially in this era of like IVF and surrogacy? Well, this OBGYN is being sued because DNA tests suggest he used his own sperm to impregnate patients. I tried to say that as nicely as I could. That's old school right there. Like you go see the medicine man in town, and all of a sudden, now your wife can get pregnant. Like, wonder what medicine he used. Also, great write-up on, perhaps, is this the best diet in the world? The carnivore diet. No, I'm not carnivore. I eat all sorts of stuff that ain't meat. But there are a lot of fellas who swear by it. You know, maybe I'll try it, though. I got a sense I'll need some fiber from somewhere. Also, crazy story of Trump using a catering truck, Air Force One decoy to evade an Iran threat when he was leaving Turkey from the NATO summit. And there, in fact, is a video that appears to show a catering truck secretly moving Trump to a military jet from Air Force One following the NATO summit in Turkey. You also have a story about Dr. Fauci. Texts show concerns about miscarriage after second COVID vaccine dose. Let's just say he underplayed the risk of miscarriages. Say it was double, if not more, the risk of what he actually said publicly when he knew otherwise. Absolutely crazy. So we got a lot to get into. But again, today is election day. Governor Kay Ivey's out there saying, you'll help ensure Alabama's voice continues to be heard, or something like that. My Governor Ivey's a little rusty. But she's really encouraging last-minute plea for voters to get out there and participate, because our participation numbers have been abysmal. This communist BS, bull shaving cream, is really interesting. Doug Jones erupts after being trolled and called a commie on a live stream. Great story of John Rich, the country singer, helping Shelby County man fight back against Alabama Power, which is fantastic. A very local story. Montgomery Public School Superintendent Byrd touts brand new initiatives for this upcoming school year as the kids are going back to school, back to school. And of course, we have some Nobunaga stories because that guy continues to be, he might be the true poet of our time. Let's go to, who's been holding the longest? Let's go to line 1 here. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey. It's Raccoon Tour. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I typically agree with Katie Britt on most things, and I'm excited to hear that she may be joining your program. As far as something that I would love for you to ask her, it's with regards to the expansion of the H-1B visa that's being talked about.
Yeah.
So there's a guy who put together a website. He took all the H-1B visa applications and cross-referenced them against congressional districts and the people who were requesting them and put it into a website. I sent you a link. It's called layoffhedge.com. Now, how does that affect us locally? Well, say you put in your Montgomery, you put in your zip code, it'll pull up your congressional district and list the businesses, colleges, etc., who have requested H-1B visa applications. So, for example, in Montgomery, Alabama, we have Jackson Hospital who's saying that if they don't get more money, they're going to have to file for bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they've requested over 100 H-1B visa applications with an average median salary of $240,000 a year.
Oh no, there are a lot of foreign doctors. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it goes further. Regions Bank, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama. Walgreens requesting pharmacists, even though we got 3 pharmacy schools here in the state. I'd like to know what her stance is on expanding that and why.
Oh, it's a great question.
In a country 300 million people, we can't find somebody that'll take a job for $240,000 a year.
It's a great question. I think some of it is it's easier just to go that route, but then some of it. You bring up Jackson Hospital. I got to say this. There are some issues where there are a lot of very talented, say, doctors who get trained up in Alabama at our university systems and at our medical schools, but they decide, I don't want to work in Alabama. And so the hospitals here in Alabama go, well, where are we going to find the people? So there is an element of that, of trying to get people to come here and work, in particular when you're talking about Montgomery and Jackson.
Agreed, but we're also, all the universities are also doing H-1B visa applications for high salaries. So why can't we find Americans to do those jobs? Or we just posting the job opening in the bathroom, and then after 3 months nobody replied, so we went overseas to India to get tech jobs?
I'm with you 100%. That it's been abused. It sounds like it's continuing to be abused. Give that website again.
Layoffhedge.com. I sent you the link, so you should have it in your messenger.
Layoffhedge.com. Okay. I will definitely check that out. And it's a shame that this is the sort of competition that we're dealing with here, but well, especially when it's major institutions, to your point about very, very generous salaried jobs. That's a real crying shame.
Considering I'm someone who worked in the tech world for 15 years, and over the last 3 years, I've probably applied for 50 jobs here with the state and other companies in the state of Alabama and never even gotten a reply. Thank you for your application. But we're hiring H-1B people all over the world to come in and work tech jobs.
Yeah, and I don't know enough to know why this is advantageous to them, especially when it's a very big salary. Like, why are you going through the H-1B program? Why not get somebody who's local talent?
Yeah, that's just a question I'd love for her to ask and find out.
Amen. Well, I appreciate it, Raconteur. Anything else before I let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to know if she voted for recess or not, because it doesn't appear that
she voted to stay. She mentioned that when she was just on, saying that it was a voice vote, and she voted to stay up there. But you saw what Thune did.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame that the ruling proletariat don't listen to the common people anymore.
So I'd love to get not only the Save America Act, near and dear to my heart is this thing called the Clarity Act that I've been talking to Katie about for months now, if not more than a year. And I know Cynthia Loomis, Loomis is trying to really get that over the finish line. Essentially, it's your final congressional regulation of the crypto industry. And there's this nasty fight behind the scenes between the big bank incumbent players. They essentially they want to have the same advantages they've had for years. And the whole promise of something like crypto is that new people in the financial space can offer better products to everyday people without the big banks being the middlemen. And so I hope they get it done. It would be a lot better.
Yeah, but are they going to keep fighting that? And are the people behind the puppets pulling the strings so that it doesn't come through, so we can step in and do a digitalized central currency? Which I'm completely opposed to.
I'm completely opposed to that as well. I'm more thinking like Coinbase might have, say, an account that you could save cash in, and you get 10% APY. Like just more generous returns on just basic saving, just more creative ways that people can actually store their money, transmit their money. And the big banks, they're adopting and adapting to these technological changes, but they're still behind some of these incumbent startups in the crypto space. So I don't know. It's very frustrating to watch that such a great new technology that could be abused, but I think like that's why you need these regulations in this way, that it's being held back by the same puppet masters.
Exactly. And the fact that it's going to take them so much money to catch up as opposed to what they're currently doing. Even on the tech side, they're using technology to run their banking systems that's 30 years old because they can't shut it down to replace it. And these guys are coming up with new and innovative ways to work, and it would take them millions of dollars to catch up and get ahead of the curve. So that's why they're fighting it.
I don't know, and I just don't have this. This isn't my particular temptation to sin for me, but the sort of greed, avarice. I'm like, it ain't about the money to a certain point. I'm like, what are y'all even doing? Like, it's really, I think it's just, I want to win. And like whatever the game is, and sometimes it's out of proportion. It's just crazy to watch.
True, and there could be a little bit of the whole, "Hey, I played ball for all these years and did what you said. Now you're going to let somebody come in and step over me." So
that too.
So yeah.
Oh, that too. Well, that's why I thought we would have this thing called freedom. Some win, some lose.
Well, we do have freedom. If you live overseas and you want to come over here and make $240,000 a year on an H-1B visa.
Sounds like freedom to me, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate the call, man.
Thanks, Joey.
272-9228. Let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
It's Jim.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Hey, Joey. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
Oh, okay. First of all, I did vote. I live here in Pratt, Vegas. I went in there. I didn't even have to sit down. I just bent over and wrote down. There was one person on the ballot, but
that sounded wrong, Jim.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, that was. Yeah.
How do you vote these days? Well, you just go in there.
Let me take that back.
Yeah, well, you just go in there and you bend over. And
I leaned over the table.
Yeah.
Okay, right. That's important. Okay, but I went. There's two where I vote at. There's two machines, and when I went up to the vote, I looked at them. The one I was in was the one on the right, which everybody must have been using. It had 95. This was noon, and the other one had 10.
Wow.
So 105 people have voted since 7 o'clock this morning till noon. That's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, and I didn't even bother looking because I got there at 7:30. So
yeah. I voted for Gary Palmer, who he said, I guess this is that new districting deal. But anyways, the person who's running against, I'd never heard of in my life. So that guy probably just got his family votes. But I hate that you missed. I had Case Dixon on the show several times over the last several months. Yeah, but I knew he doesn't. He's a nice guy, but he didn't have a chance. I mean, they just. But real quick, the other day I was listening. Saturday it was. I was listening to your show. You were playing back to when we had this guy. What's his name? Samansky, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where does he live in Montgomery?
I don't know exactly. Off the top of my head, I'm just forgetting.
Yeah, I'm just curious because listening to him, and I know he's trying to be upbeat and everything, but man, I was wondering where this town was he lived in because it sure didn't sound like Montgomery. I know he's upbeat guy and positive, but man, he acts like Montgomery's just everything's just, great.
Well, I mean, I think he
don't know.
tries to be upbeat and positive. He's very much aware of the issue, especially with police force and crime. But,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy who's invested a good bit of his own money, has started up multiple businesses. Like, he's invested, and so he's trying to make it work.
That's great. But the problem is, as long as you've got that dunderhead in there as your mayor, you're up the creek without a paddle.
Wait, so you're saying
And I
Montgomery
see
needs a new mayor?
Yeah, I see they put his crooked dad's name back up on the Acadome.
I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of odd, but those people in Montgomery that you voted for Joe Jr. there, you knew what you got. So that guy, as long as he's the mayor, there's nothing you can do. And if I was a resident of Montgomery, I'd say I lived there 20 years, Joey, from '84 to '05, and I saw all these things. Over there on the west side there, that golf course over there off the bypass?
Mm-hmm.
What a pathetic waste of money that was. I mean, you ever go buy that thing? There's hardly anybody there. And it's just like that white water thing. Another ridiculous waste of money.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the millions of dollars that they thrown down the toilet that they could use to pay, policemen and other things like that. It's got to be frustrating.
We'll see, because Montgomery won't be able to even have a chance to vote on a new mayor until next year, but Montgomery will get a new governor here this year. And I have a sense that, because he said it, Coach Tuberville wants to make the capital city actually a crown jewel of the state. Now, will that actually happen? It's a great thing for him to say. I don't know.
Yeah.
But a governor can do a lot in terms of moving, especially a popular governor like Tuberville will be in there.
Yeah, I hope he does. I hope he gets in there and just starts, taking care of business. And I agree. I think he will.
Yeah, he said
But
the cavalry is on the way.
done.
Yeah.
Something needs to be done. But anyways, for all you other people out there, get out there and vote. It'll take you about 30 seconds. Come on.
Right. Folks, just show up, bend over, and it's done.
Yeah. All right, man.
Appreciate it. 272-9228. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Yeah, it's Soldier Boy. Good afternoon.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, Dern. Hey, I want to talk about the women's basketball league, professional basketball league.
Yeah.
I noticed yesterday. First of all, Sophie Cunningham, who plays for the Indiana Flames, got fouled by a lady, a black female basketball player.
Yeah, and they called it a flagrant 2 because she essentially hit her in the face.
Well, it was a clothesline at WWE.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
Pretty intense. I mean, if I would have got up, and I played basketball in high school, I would have got up and whooped some rear end too myself, But I like what she went on there, and she went on mass media and said, the only reason why Sophie Cunningham's complaining about it because of white privilege. I can't believe these people.
People are going to say it as long as they think it can get something out of it. And there's enough folks that it's almost like there's an interest in black folks being able to say there's white privilege. It's just strange.
Well, 3/4 of the female basketball league, I only watch the Flame games, so I watch Sophie Cunningham and the other lady, what's her name, Clark?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I watched them, okay, and she got great players around her too. But 3/4 of the women on that league are angry black female lesbians. I'm sorry. That's what
Why
it
are you
is.
apologizing? That's true.
I'm trying to be nice today, Joey. One of my few days, I know. But what's funny is, I don't know if you noticed, okay, first of all, they got a commissioner that won't stand up who's scared.
Mm-hmm.
You got a coach that's scared that won't stand up for their players. Unbelievable. Watch during the game, She won't call, they have like reviews or something you can call on certain plays, and certain fouls, And what's so funny is, I don't know if you heard yesterday, 2 guys that used to play professional basketball player in the men's NBA have announced themselves as candidates and putting themselves into the Women's Basketball Association draft.
Yeah, I absolutely saw that, and it's making the WNBA realize, oh, crap, we need an actual standard here.
Oh,
or these guys are going to do it.
Well, did you hear what they said? Sometimes, some days they feel like women. They're not. They're just making a political point, you know. But they said they're serious. They're going to put themselves in the draft. And if you want to, you know, like you can put a lipstick and a necklace around it. I mean, I hate to say it. I've seen some of the basketball players in the women's basketball league, and some of them questioned me. I don't know what their contract is. I'd want some chromosome testing before they go on the court, kind of like when you go into Olympics. You know, the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
you make sure you're not doped up and everything, because this is the Women's Basketball Association. Okay.
John, and for folks that didn't know, Enes Kanter Freedom is what his name is now. He said, if simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I sometimes identifying as a woman for purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well. They're going to have nightmares, and they should. I really feel like I'm going to be dominant. Yeah.
Well, he was great in the NBA too. Also, okay, he got some. You know, he played for the Celtics, I believe. Yeah.
I mean, like they'll probably just reject them.
Why? Why? If they're going to go by the definition, you know. I mean, do they have to put wigs and lipstick on?
They could reject without any explanation. They could say you're cisgender. They could create an objective trans eligibility standard, which would that'd be interesting.
Well, those two guys are going to push that commissioner. I mean, the commissioner kind of reminds me of the Supreme Court justice that didn't know the difference and couldn't define the difference between a man and a woman.
Well, you know, the best way you could actually clear this up, to compete in the Women's National Basketball Association, you have to be born a woman.
Well, did you hear what happened? Was it last year? I think it was. They had a bunch of high school soccer players, state champion soccer team, beat the women's Olympic gold medal team.
Yeah,
shows you right there that the men are physically more stronger, but they got beat.
No, and there's examples of like Serena Williams admitting, like, there are men. Serena Williams is amazing, one of the greatest female tennis players ever. But there are men who aren't even in the top 10, and just in the top 100 even, who could whoop me. Like, and I mean, people understand there is a clear advantage and difference in a lot of these athletics. So I don't know. It would be great if they just accept them and let these fellas just dominate.
Let them play and be dominant. And here's the thing about it is, Clark and Cunningham are the golden eggs. I mean, the golden gooses for their team. That's the only reason why I watch the games. I only watch the Heat games.
Yeah, I don't think it's the right kind of press, though, because I'm not watching any of these games. By the way, Royce White, who's one of the two that announced he's a woman for purposes of basketball,
said, that guy,
Royce said, I haven't been publicly trans for 72 hours, and I'm getting so much hate, already getting so much hate. I just want to hoop with my girls in my feminine era. Why can't y'all be happy for me?
See, they don't like.
He put an emoji next to it of fingernails getting painted.
Hey, Joey, they don't like it when it's pushed back against them. They don't like it.
Well, no, because you're mocking it, and you're not serious, and it's like you're not serious. This is insanity.
It's just sad. It's really sad. But I loved it when those two guys announced they were going to be. If I was the owner of a team, I'd have to draft both of them.
Well, I appreciate it, Soldier Boy. I got to run. I got to hit this break.
Have a great day, guys.
Thanks. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they can help you across the board with any and all of your jewelry needs. But if you go to their Facebook page right now, you will see a lovely video from Leslie's inventory pick of the day. So it's a beautiful necklace, absolutely beautiful. And who needs one necklace when you can have layers of sparkle? It's a 14-karat gold beauty. Brings drama in the best way with a dainty upper chain with 3 little diamond drops dancing above a sleek hexagonal pendant that cradles a floating diamond. Absolutely stunning and unique. and modern looking, but it's going to be also something fun that'll make heads turn. It's regularly $1,999, now for $1,599 through the 31st of August. There's only one in stock at that price at $1,600. Quite a deal. So your neck call that wants this. Really cool stuff. If you're looking for a great piece there by Leslie Ryder, she puts together an amazing inventory. Get by Dylan Rings today. And, of course, they can help you across the board with custom design work like this pendant hanging around my neck. Josh did fantastic work on this Sacred Heart that I wanted. And then, of course, they can do repair work, spa treatments, anything and everything when it comes to jewelry is the point. So stop by today, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Don't have a lot of time in this segment. So how about we do a Nobunaga? A kid on my street set up a stand, not lemonade, a cardboard sign. A cardboard sign that read, free advice. He was maybe 7. He had a folding chair and a jar of pencils in case of paperwork. I stopped. A samurai does not pass a free consultation. I will take one, I said. Shoot. How does a man know when he is home? He did not hesitate. When the dog's happy to see you. I stood very still. 800 years of my family asking that question, and a 7-year-old answered it in 4 words while picking his nose. That'll be 25 cents, he said. The sign says free. You got the free one. That was the free one. The dog one is premium. I paid the 25 cents. I would have paid a horse. That night I called my mother. No reason. In my family, we do not call with no reason, so she answered already braced for death. We talked for an hour about nothing. Her neighbor's tomatoes, a drama she watches, the rain. She was happy. I could hear it. She kept finding new nothings to say, so I would not hang up. The kid was right. Home is where someone's happy you called. I owe that kid 25 more cents. I have been going back every Saturday. His rates are insane. I pay them. Gotta love Nobunaga, folks. This part of the program brought to you by Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, James Cole and the team are ready to help you out with, well, any and all of your plumbing needs. Could be a big job, like a big old water leak inside or outside your home, and they can fix it with precision and expertise without making an extra mess. By tearing out a bunch of drywall or digging up a huge hole or trench in your yard trying to find the leak, they can find it, again, with precision and expertise, fix it up, and get the job done for you there. But it doesn't have to be a huge issue. It could be something like your toilet's just not working correctly, or the faucet keeps dripping, or it's time for a new garbage disposal. Just have them on speed dial, folks, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole. I believe we have Doug from Eclectic Coins stopping by here. Look forward to bringing him into the studio on the show and having a conversation about his great new business here in Montgomery. A lot of really cool stuff going on there at Eclectic Coins, but I'll wait for Doug to really get into what they can offer you. We'll be right back after that.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Text messages released by Senators Rand Paul and Ron Johnson are prompting new scrutiny of the former NIH Director Anthony Fauci, and messages to the Surgeon General and CDC Director. Fauci had raised concerns that the COVID-19 vaccine could theoretically be associated with miscarriages. Still, he went on to advise pregnant women to take the vaccine. Those messages sent via his government phone were sent on to other top health officials in the government. On Wall Street right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average continuing to struggle. It's off by about 77 points. The S&P 500 down 24, and the NASDAQ is off by 137. Still combing through the rubble of a major earthquake in Colombia. More than 100 people are known to be dead. About 3,000 are still missing, and the remote area where the epicenter occurred is said to be very remote and difficult to reach. This is SRN News.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told
Rich
you.
Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Win a BMW X7 or your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25,000 free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too.
Rich Thomas Weather. It's a different day, but it's the same story. Look for a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to the middle 90s. And with that crazy humidity, look for heat indices in the 102 to 105 range easy. Lows at night in the mid 70s. And stop me if you heard this. There will be scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Feast or famine. And that'll be the story every day this week, with middle 90s each day expected and dangerous heat indices. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A juvenile has been charged in the late July homicide of a Montgomery man. The suspect, identified only as a juvenile male, is charged with capital murder in the shooting death of 62-year-old Alan Griffin. The shooting happened July 27th in the 500 block of Woodbrook Drive, where Griffin was found dead from a gunshot wound. Alan Griffin was the 31st homicide victim of the year in Montgomery. 15 candidates have officially qualified for a special election to fill the vacant District 3 Montgomery City Council seat. The council removed Marsha Johnson for allegedly failing to reside in the district she represented. The special city election to fill the seat vacated by Johnson will be held on Tuesday, September 1st. Drivers traveling through the 17 Springs area in Millbrook will soon see a new traffic signal. The signal heads are being installed this week at the intersection of Highway 14 and 17 Springs Boulevard. The new traffic lights will be placed into flashing mode during the week of August 17th, with full activation scheduled for August 25th. Motorists are advised to use extra caution when traveling through the busy intersection. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
WAKA, Blue Water Broadcasting, Tyndall Incorporated, and Piggly Wiggly Food for Less invite you to help us stuff the truck on Saturday, August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sturbridge Piggly Wiggly Food for Less. Donate non-perishable food, classroom supplies, or cash to help local students facing food insecurity and support our teachers. Visit WAKA.com for a shopping list and stop by our community resource fair for valuable services and information for River Region families. Together, we can stuff the truck and strengthen our community.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. As promised, in studio with us, a brand new sponsor. We've been telling you a little about them over the last week or so. But we have Doug with Eclectic Coins here in the studio. How are you, sir?
Good, Joey. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks
Pull that mic a little closer to you there. Thanks for having me. Of course. Thanks for being here. And I love stopping by your store, and there was so much. What I loved is there's a lot of great just product and a lot of great service you can provide for folks. But then there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Like there's so much history there at your shop.
It's you would think buying and selling coins would be a simple thing, but it's not. There's a lot of educated collectors, a lot of different type of collectors, but there's so much history in coins that when you start trading coins, buying coins, selling coins, you learn about a period of history, what society was like, the religion of the period, an economic situation. Plus, back to the educated collector, they love studying the history behind a coin, and it makes it that much more interesting other than just the simple value of the silver content or gold content.
And it can go back hundreds of years, or I'm looking, you brought in a $2 bill here.
Yeah, from 1913, I believe.
Yeah, it's much bigger than I remember the two.
Yeah, large bills. Yeah, they were big.
Real big bills. That's beautiful.
Yeah, the history behind bills was, well, they were, gold and silver coins are heavy, but nobody trusted, script, printed money. And so, but since money was heavy, gold and silver, banks in regional areas and churches also would print their own script. But it was only good in those towns, and if they went to a neighboring town, their money was no good. So then the state stepped in and started printing bills, all states, and they were good all over the state, but not in another state. And then as things progressed, the federal government decided they would print script, and there you have it, large bills and some unique designs, beautiful
Absolutely.
bills, and which leads me up to the silver certificates when the dollar was on a gold standard. And I hate to bring this up, but it is a fact that was a promissory note to the American people that the government held their silver and gold in good faith. And when you read that bill, it said payable up on demand. Well, when the government took silver and gold, the dollar off the silver and gold standard, they kept everybody's silver and their gold. It was, in my opinion, and just my opinion, was the largest theft of the American people in modern history, and everybody was not upset about it or raised a fit or rioted in the streets like they do today over something like George Floyd. It was an amazing thing to me that happened, which was kind of mind-boggling to me that the American people did not stand up and demand their wealth.
I
back.
share your opinion on that. It's astounding when you learn that part of our history.
Yes, it's.
And I think though there are more folks learning that part of our history, and for a long time there have been folks trying to get back to sound money.
Yes.
And even if you can't quite get the government to go full with it, some of the states have taken the lead. And I'm holding here. This is a Florida gold back.
Yes.
And so I was trying to explain to the audience earlier last week what a goldback is. It's much easier being able to show it right here on camera in my hand. And this is minted in Florida, but in many other states they do this as well.
Yes, a company in Utah, they produced the goldbacks for, I believe, 12 states now. The difference between a silver certificate or a gold certificate is the gold is infused in the bill. And the bill you're holding up now is a $100 gold back. And there is actually 1/10 ounce of gold infused in that bill. So if you were to melt that bill at today's spot price, you would have $468 worth of gold in your hand.
Wow.
So they can't take that off the gold standard because the bill, you own it, it's a hard asset, it's in your hand, and it's fractional, which makes it easier to trade if things ever got to that point.
And so people can come stop by and purchase these at your shop?
Yes, I'm Montgomery's premier goldback dealer. We sell quite a few goldbacks. The more people learn about the goldbacks, the more excited they are because it makes so much sense that they are holding in their hand state constitutionally approved legal tender in those states, which are you're able to use this cross-border or in any other state if a retailer just chooses to accept them. And last month, 26,000 new retailers have chosen to start accepting those as legal tender payment for their services or goods. So it's catching on. Ironically enough, most of the states that have approved those are constitutionally sound states. They are red states. They're conservative.
Yeah, I know Idaho's one of them, but Florida and why isn't Alabama on that list, though? We're not.
I don't know. It's a conservative state. And I know they're being petitioned to join the group. I have heard some talk from a senator, I'm just not going to mention any names, that has been brought up. So that would be exciting to see what an Alabama bill would look like.
Well, and, folks, again, I can hold it up to the camera. It's not doing it justice on camera. When you actually see this right in front of you, hold it in your hand, you can see the gold just woven in there. Absolutely beautiful artwork as well. And, this is 1/10 of a troy ounce.
Yeah, 1/10 of a troy ounce, 3.1 grams of pure gold.
Now, of course, you have so much going on there. One thing that you can definitely do, and this would be more by appointment, is say somebody inherits, somebody passes away and they inherit a huge collection of coins, and they don't even know what they're looking at, where to begin.
Believe it or not, that's very common.
And you could help folks out, like a full, look through the entire collection, really let them know what you got.
I do that quite a bit, actually. So, the sad thing is coin collecting, either numismatics, graded coins, or just old rare coins, or just pure silver or gold coins. A lot of times, Dad didn't have an interest, or Dad was the collector, and their children didn't have an interest. But it is valuable. So, my hours are Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30, and then Saturdays I do appointments, and that's generally when somebody will bring in a very large collection because it can take hours to go through that.
Right.
And I've had situations where they weren't physically able to bring that product into the store, so I'll go to their homes also and help them out because it's worth money, and to some people it's better to liquidate and then they have that money to pay their bills or get caught up because, let's face it, inflation's eating everybody up today.
Well, and also, could you help somebody out with the grading process? Say it's not a huge collection, but they're trying to understand what's the value of this thing I'm holding in my hand.
When people come into the store, I can show them through updated books, through several different sources to cross-reference what the value of a coin is, and then explain to them, hey, if you want to get this graded, and when you do that, it's certified, it's photographed, it goes into a registry, and you can look at the serial number putting on the grading case, and with confidence that when you buy those coins or sell those coins, you're getting a legitimate coin. And so we actually are approved PCS dealer, so we have the ability. You bring in a rare coin, you want to know the value, and you want to get it graded and slabbed, you give it to us, and we take care of the process. We do not make any money. It's a free service. All we require is that you pay for the grading cost and the shipping cost. So it's another free service that we offer. So it's not all about the money. And also, we were talking about estates. So if I spend a whole Saturday going through somebody's estate, trying to tell them what their estate's worth, that's also a free service at Eclectic Coins. Yes, it's just one service that we offer. I'm a retired contractor. I'm not in this for the money. Of course, everybody's got to make a profit to pay your bills, but I just enjoy tremendously collectibles, rarity coins. So I offer a lot of services that a lot of dealers would charge for.
And folks, there's also a lot of cool, like say, commemorative, unique stuff. Say you're really into guitars, like Fender guitars. You showed me some pieces where it's not a coin; it's like molded to look like a Fender Stratocaster.
Yeah, the Agoro's a company, and the British government actually do the same thing. They make unique pieces out of pure silver, and the guitars I showed you are a series of 12 Fender guitars, pure silver 1-ounce bars, colorized, in a cute little case. And people love that kind of stuff. I've got Spider-Man coins, Superman, foil prints, and that seems to be to the younger collector, in my opinion, they love that kind of stuff because they don't produce a lot of them. They're unique, they're exciting, and it's just a lot of fun.
Well, and what? Brand new Spider-Man movie just came out. Went and saw it over the weekend.
Did you?
It was
really?
all right.
Was it?
Wasn't like the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I was like, yeah, it's a good time.
Well, I know it made a lot of money at the box office, $377 million first day. So.
It was a good time. So, and that's what's so cool too, that these characters or brands, like they really last. So it's the value of the coin, of course, like the underlying, say, metal value, but it's also the value of that brand and that unique aspect.
Oh, if you're a Star Wars fan, I have a Luke Skywalker silver coin, but those things are hard to find because they don't produce very many of those coins. So if you're a big fan of the movies, Star Wars, Spider-Man, they make a lot of those coins, and I try to keep a lot of that type of inventory in the store.
Well, we're pretty much out of time here, but am I leaving anything out?
No, not really. I think the only thing we're doing new now is we have a store on Whatnot, and we're going to start doing live auction on Whatnot with coins and collectibles and some of the meme coins we just talked about. So we're expanding our business in a lot of different directions. We've just got a lot of great reviews. People trust us. They love us there. We're polite, we're kind, and we pay well for the products that we buy from people.
So, folks, you can always go to eclecticcoins.com.
Yep.
Or just stop by 543 Northeastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And you can always call them direct at 334-649-1015. It's 649-1015. And what are those hours again?
Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 4:30. Saturday is by appointment only.
Well, great seeing you, Doug.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Joe,
thank you
for having
for
me.
being
Good
on the
to
show,
see you.
too,
No,
as a
thanks
sponsor.
it's good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, we talked for a while.
Yeah, that was a long time. We were in there. You were like, I'm going to be late for work. I got to go. So, but there's a lot to look at. It's a lot to see. So.
Yeah, a lot of history in there, like I said, folks, and just cool stuff. Anyway, I appreciate it, Doug. Thank you, sir.
Joey. Appreciate it.
Be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hey, this is Ashley, owner of Pest Pro Services, and I want to help you take back your yard. We protect your outdoor space from mosquitoes, fleas, and ticks so you can enjoy being outside. We treat where mosquitoes live and breed with pro-level care, which means fewer bites, more time outside, and a backyard ready for fun. Give us a call at 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. That's 265-9990 and follow us on Facebook at Pest Pro Services. And remember, when you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a political activist.
That's right, man.
And could you please explain to us your red cap with the letters MMRGA?
Yeah, man, this is my MARGA hat.
MARGA?
Yeah, man, that stands for Make My Retirement Great Again.
I see.
And to do do that, what you need to do is call David Ernest,
the asset preservationist.
That's right, man. You can call David at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
And I understand that's a toll-free number.
Yeah, man. Get David Ernest on the case, and your retirement will be great again.
And you make these hats.
I do. Here's a whole pile left from the last administration.
And they say CPWABD.
Yeah, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
And as you said, there's a whole pile here.
Well, there wasn't much demand.
I can dig it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get it on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. In a moment, Hampton Harris will be calling in and getting folks' attention and also addressing some last-second texts that went out, hitting him pretty hard. So look forward to talking to Hampton. Line 1, you're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Hampton Harris.
Hey, Hampton, quick on the draw, and I love it. How are you today, sir?
Doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Life's pretty good. I did my duty this morning, and I'll just tell folks I voted for you.
Well, fantastic. I appreciate it.
And so what's sort of your last-second pitch, and then here in a second we'll get into some of the attack stuff that was put out yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, so last-second pitch is just tell everybody needs to get out there and vote. Have your voice heard. It's important. We have to make sure we're sending someone to D.C. that's going to stand for our values, our rights, stand for the Bible. And so get out there and make your voice heard. And you can't complain about something that you aren't willing to get out there and fix. And so go vote. That's what people need to be doing. And so that's what I would love to encourage all of the listeners here to do today. I've been out here at the polls working all day, standing out here meeting people, and we need to make sure everyone's showing up and doing their part.
Well, and yeah, it's funny, you texted me, and I just seen this other text, because I get all the political stuff from all the parties, honestly, and it said that you're backed by Never Trumpers. That's the voice I read it. Never Trumpers, back Hampton Harris. And I just looked at this and kind of shook my head, doing what I do, this is absurd, but you want to address some of this stuff?
Yeah, so that a text went out, and it's interesting. It's completely without basis whatsoever. First of all, looking at who sent it, the Alabama Christian Conservatives, it's a group based out of Texas, and it's a dark money group that is funded by people we don't even know who it's funded by. And they've been pouring money into one of my opponent, Rhett Marcus's campaign over this past election cycle. And so they sent out that text saying, I'm backed by Never Trumpers. I stand with AOC for the Green New Deal, and I am a pro-abortion, which is interesting. They're just throwing things at the wall, seeing what sticks, with absolute no basis. Is 100% incorrect. and we can tackle them one by one. First, I drive a lifted truck, and it gets 12 miles to the gallon. I don't think AOC is very friendly with me. And so I actually jumped in this race back in January as the only Republican to do so because of the socialist agenda that was being pushed on our district. And when we were talking about getting redistricted, AOC came down to Montgomery to protest me winning the seat. And so we saw that. I've been vocally standing up my entire campaign since the last 8 months, vocally standing up to not only support President Trump, but to make sure that everything that he's passed as temporary law is made into permanent law so our next administration can't just reverse it all. And I am staunchly pro-life. I believe that life begins at conception, and murder is wrong at the state level, murder is wrong at the federal level, and we have to protect those that are most vulnerable among us, and that includes the unborn. And so them throwing that at the wall at that just kind of shows signs of desperation and dirty politics that of a politician that's trying to keep a job in politics. And they think that the average Alabama voter is not going to look into it and do their own research, and they think they can just pull the wool over their eyes and tell them who to vote for. And his campaign's already had about $3.7 million of PAC money come into it. That's how bad the establishment wants him to win against me. And so people need to just do your research. Go out there and vote. Make sure if you don't like dirty politics, if you don't like lies being thrown around, and it's crazy. It was red and green. It looked like a Christmas note that somebody created on AI and said, just give me something that I'm going to send out in a text. And so if you don't like dirty politics, get out there and make your voice heard. Show up to the polls and let Alabama know and the U.S. know you want someone that's going to stand for clean Christian values. And I'm backed by, people know where I stand, I'm backed by very real Christian groups that are, they like Eagle Forum and the Alabama Christian Coalition. And those are real groups, not like these that we don't know who's funding them and not even based in Texas, or based in Texas, not even based in Alabama, calling themselves the Alabama Christian Conservatives.
Well, folks, y'all get out there and vote. And it took me less than a minute to just go by Eastmont Baptist Church and walked in, filled in the bubble, walked out. It was that simple. And you got time during, maybe a late lunch right now or right after you get off work. It doesn't take long.
That's right. Abby and I are standing out here at Vaughn Forest and meeting everybody. And if there's one race on the ballot, there's 6 names. You go in there, check that name, and you're out in 5 minutes or less. So get out there, make sure your voice is heard.
Well, best of luck, Hampton, and appreciate you just, like I said before, how early you got in this race, knowing the odds were very much against you even before the redistricting. And I don't know, also just the way you've carried yourself in this campaign, I really do respect it and appreciate it. So best of luck, man.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on today.
Thanks, sir. Again, Hampton Harris running for Congress in that CD2 race. Congressional District 2. Now, a story I found yesterday, a team of divers came across a 162-year-old bottle of Guinness while exploring a shipwreck off the coast of the UK. There's a possibility the stout could still be drinkable. Why do we think that? But Stefan Panis, an underwater photographer from Belgium, was stunned when he discovered the glass bottle in the wreckage of the Mindoro in the English Channel last year. I resurfaced, and the top of the bottle was super clear, and I was really amazed to see Guinness Extra Stout London, Penny's told a local media outlet. I was like, wow, this is amazing. The bottle was found in the boat's cargo. Penny's and fellow diver Eddie Hoosie, who's 68, then sent samples from the 19th century bottle to microbiologists at the research university in Belgium. There is always a chance that we can recover the complete DNA, and then we can do a small rebrew of the exact beer that was found in the 1860s. Panisse, who admitted he's not a huge fan of the stout, said the contents of the bottle might still be drinkable, but he's waiting for analysis first. So I'm looking at photos of this thing. I'm not sure I would drink that. Okay, perhaps it's still drinkable in the sense that you could you could put it to your lips, throw it back, swallow, and you'll be fine. You won't die or something. But how's that going to taste? 160-something years under the ocean? Under the sea? So the question is, if the seawater is coming through the bottles through the corks. If not, most likely the beer will still be drinkable. He revealed that he would take a sip of the stout if he's given a green light to taste it. Somebody give him a green light. Do it. He suspects there may be more than one bottle hiding within the wreckage of the ship, which sank 3 miles off the coast of Dover, England on November 27, 1864, after colliding with a sailing ship. Seeing the size of the case, I think it's definitely a case of 24 bottles, but there might be more cases. Penice also contacted Diageo, the company which makes Guinness, and a spokesperson for the organization said discoveries like this provide a fascinating window into our past and help build a deeper understanding of our heritage. Currently, our Guinness archive team is liaising with the divers to gather more information and evaluate the find. It would be cool to see, like, if it's still preserved. You got to wonder if the ocean water got in there. But if not, how did they used to brew beer in the 1860s? Did it taste better? I don't know. Some things never change, folks. Some things never change. Something about going and getting a pint that can make the day all right. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you with, well, buying a home, refinancing that current home. And especially if you're a veteran, they specialize in helping veterans take advantage of the VA mortgage programs. You know, a lot of veterans think, well, the VA system's broken. And perhaps on the VA medical side, you're right. But when it comes to the VA mortgage, it's still the best game in town. I mean, you've got amazing offers, financing options available like no down payment purchases and 100% cash out refinances. But even if you're not a veteran, they can walk you through the home buying process, especially if it's your first time buying a home, from pre-approval all the way to closing day. Or they can help you through that refinance process to get debt off your back, shore up a retirement fund. Maybe you want to reinvest in your property or go on that dream vacation that you've always hoped to go on. You always promise, we'll do that one day, honey. Why not make it today? Just call up Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or you can visit them on the web. Apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Hit this quick break. Be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
For more than 50 years, the Tears family's been keeping the river region flowing with Roto-Rooter. From drain cleaning to septic repair and installation, no job's too big or too messy with a local team you can trust. So when water won't go where it's supposed to, call the hometown experts who've been serving Montgomery for over half a century. That's 272-7130. Or visit rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Maybe you're doing well in sales, but you're ready for something bigger. At Blue Water Broadcasting, you'll help local businesses grow with customized marketing campaigns that combine the reach of 7 radio stations with powerful digital solutions. We're looking for someone who enjoys meeting people, earning their trust, and delivering results. If you're driven, professional, and ready to build a career, not just another sales job, we should talk. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com and send me your resume today. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Truckers, listen up. A $2,500 sign-on bonus only at Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Work for a company that puts God and family first. 855-777-9785. Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Rich Thomas Weather.
It's a different day, but it's the same story. Look for a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to the middle 90s. And with that crazy humidity, look for heat indices in the 102 to 105 range easy. Lows at night in the mid 70s. And stop me if you heard this. There will be scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Feast or famine. And that'll be the story every day this week with middle 90s each day expected and dangerous heat indices. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Now let's talk about Doug. At least that's how Doug Jones, former senator, Democrat, well, he was like a co-chair of the Biden campaign, made his name, I believe, prosecuting some pretty bad dudes during the civil rights era. I believe the folks that bombed that church up in Birmingham, Doug Jones has, I think, a good pedigree, but I would say, I don't know, Doug did his best work many moons ago. And, but it's good to see Doug Jones drop some of the composure that he does usually possess and get a little feisty. So this is from 1819news.com from Austin Shipley over there. This communist bullshit is really interesting. Doug Jones erupts after being trolled and called a communist on a live stream. He lashed out at Republican voters and officials this Sunday evening during his weekly social media live stream after repeatedly being called a communist by a single viewer in the event's chat section. Don't read the chat, Doug. What are you doing reading the chat? According to Jones, conservatives now refer to liberals as Marxist ideologues or hypocrites. This communist bull is really interesting, said Jones. When the assassination attempts took place on President Trump, all of you Republicans started screaming at Democrats for calling him a fascist or calling him Hitler and saying that that's what's provoked it. And now you guys are screaming communism and baby killers, for God's sake. Come on. Do you not see the damn hypocrisy in that? I mean, really, is that the best you got? He added, the hypocrisy coming from the side of the aisle sometimes is just stunning, and you're a real good example of it. Well, there are plenty of hypocrites everywhere, Doug, but are there not a lot of communists on your side? Or they call themselves progressives, right? Or democratic socialists now. Didn't say Stalinist. Didn't say Maoist. But yes, much of what y'all are pushing, as we've covered ad nauseum, and so have every other conservative group, and y'all try to act like you're not pushing it, but you are, is Marxism. Is essentially we need to use the power of the state to redistribute not just wealth, but privilege and status and opportunity and access. And so in order to make everything equal, you're going to need some people in power who are more equal. In fact, let's do this based on immutable characteristics, like things people can't change. While we then claim that you can change things like your sex on a whim. Yeah, there are a lot of hypocrites, and there are people that say that things in a very over-the-top way. all over the place in our today's politics. Just go online, especially the younger generation. But, there are a lot of people who do believe, you're murdering children when you're allowing abortions. That's not the same thing as the sort of vague, tired accusations of everybody to the right is a fascist and Hitler. Always remember, folks, what the left, what the communists called the Berlin Wall, the anti-fascist protection rampart. I don't know. What I would say to Doug Jones is there are a lot of people, not only in the current Democratic Party today, but historically in the Democratic Party, that are your fellow travelers, so to speak. And sometimes you got to wonder, are they actually the fringe, or are they the ones running the show? Anyway, funny to see that one guy on the internet who called him a communist got Doug Jones say, this communist is really interesting. 272-9228. But you got to love those new signs. Doug, Alabama. Reminds me of that Nickelodeon show. I wonder if... What was who was Doug's best friend? Thinking it's Skeeter? Yeah, it was Skeeter Valentine. He was green. In the classic animated series Doug for Alabama, the title character, Doug Funny's best friend, is Skeeter Valentine. So can we start saying that Philip Insler is Skeeter? We got Doug and Skeeter running to run Alabama. And, I think Philip Insler asked me to be on the show, but I would be hung up on the question of, I thought you were leaving, man. But before you go back to live with family in New York, you're going to one last hurrah and run for statewide office? Huh? It's almost like you don't think you're going to win, Skeeter. Anyway, let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
I'm all right, Duke. How you doing?
I'm fine, sir.
That's good.
Well, I'm sitting here listening to you, sir, and what made me call was I'm like Doug now.
You like Doug now?
I'm like Doug now. I'm just like him. Seems like the sky's starting to fall again when it comes close to an election again. Why does the sky start falling down where all of a sudden the communists talk?
Have you listened to these people that have gotten elected in Democrat primaries?
Communists. I'm sticking with the word communist, not socialist. Most of them run it as a socialist.
What's the difference?
But there's a difference in
what's the difference?
China is a communist type place.
Mm-hmm.
Socialist, deal with associations and stuff, but there's a difference in the two. I had to look it up on Google it for you and send it back to you. But there's a difference. But there's somebody in the White House that got a best friend that's from a communist type place, right?
You're talking about President Xi. He's a strong leader.
Trump, every time you see him on TV talking about that guy, we real good friends. We buddies.
We are good friends.
I've been knowing him a long time.
Yeah, I've known him back when he was running Shanghai. I knew him. I don't know, man. You would want a president to get along with, say, the leader of the second most powerful nation in the world.
He said we real good friends,
Right.
Real good friends, like never before,
Mm-hmm.
Huh? That's what I heard now a couple of weeks ago, all this communist kind of talk.
Well, he's not running against the president of China for election.
I know, but you go hanging out with the hog in the pen, you're gonna get some mud on you after a while.
Well, also you got to keep in mind this whole tariffing back and forth and all. Trump does this game, as you know at this point. He can dog cuss you. He can say, I think Ted Cruz's dad helped kill JFK, and his wife is as ugly as a dog.
And then
they're best friends.
Puppet, don't they?
They're best
they
friends.
Run right on to it.
Yeah.
Say, yes, master. He showed you kind of
Trump literally
looking at it last night. But
Trump literally. I was talking with Senator Brett earlier, on and off air about Lindsey Graham, and Trump literally eulogizing Lindsey Graham brought up when he gave out Graham's personal cell phone number because he didn't say nice things about me. And then they ended up best of friends. So this is, I don't know. Maybe Trump will become best friends with Elon Omar or something.
But to me now, all this stuff seems like coming from the fact that somebody approval rating is at a certain spot and everything, and economies not looking so good and everything. The war thing is not working out well, and a little bit of this and a little bit of that not working out. So you gotta go grab hold of something. So let's grab this damn new thing out of the sky, since the sky's falling down. I told you I got me a couple of stars out of the sky a couple weeks ago. But pull out the damn word communism out of the sky.
Well, you're leaving one.
Y'all. See how far it gets you. I even heard Tommy Tuberville talking about it.
Right, but you're leaving one of the words out.
Huh?
You're leaving one of the words out. Because here's a quote from Trump yesterday in the Oval Office. We have this, whether it's communism, jihadism. A friend of mine called up. He said, really, you should use the word jihadist because that's what's happening. And I'm not sure that anybody, if you take a look at what's happened in other countries, I think that's not going to be necessarily the way we want to live.
Joe, and don't forget now, he's going to get that woman to investigate this guy that cut that damn pool, boy.
Yeah, he is.
He ain't pleased the way this girl. She gonna have to make up for that right there some kind of way. I don't know what the hell she gonna do to make up for it, but she got to make up now, Joe. You know that, huh?
I haven't paid attention to that story. I only get my updates
He got
from
to
you
make
on
up
that
for
story.
that though. He owned her hard, boy, about that right there now.
Well, he's not happy.
She fold like a cheap damn umbrella or something. He said a couple weeks ago. She fold, man. She fold, boy.
Yeah, but we are heading into election season. And, man, some of these folks on the left are just straight-up commies. Like, let's not sugarcoat it.
Boss, I wish I love popcorn. This is a good little show we got going right now.
Oh, by the way, there are definitely some folks on the right. I don't think they have a lot of power, but there are definitely some folks on the right that are straight-up fascist, man. Like,
they love Jesus. Oh, they love the heck out some Jesus Christ right on now. Oh, they what I'm talking about how much they love God.
Yeah. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I know that, but don't wait till damn election season to tell me how much you love God. You got to live it the whole year.
Well, for instance, Jared Hudson lost that Senate race to Barry Moore, and Jared has continued to do essentially like Bible study thing online every week. So there are people that really mean it, and it's.
But they don't sell Mom the Word like I said to you the other day. That they don't sell Mom the Word though when certain individuals just cuss on TV and say they were glad folks died and this and that and stuff like that. They don't sell Mom the Word as a Christian. Joey, what about that one?
About Trump cussing?
I'm talking about this. He gonna do what he do now. But what I'm saying, the people that so-called Christians that
because there are a lot of Christians that go, yeah, there are imperfect leaders, and like this guy's actually gotten a lot of things done that are great for a lot of Christian interests. But like I agree with you in the sense like I hated the thing he put out on Easter, like about wiping a civilization off the map. I really hated it because of where my head was that Easter Sunday morning.
Then they're glad that guy dead, Mullen. What is that, Mullen? Robert Mullen?
Oh, no. Rob Reiner, I think.
Mullen, yeah. Mullen was it? Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Yeah, didn't Mullen die then? Didn't he die?
I don't know if it was a Mullen, but, Trump literally at the Charlie Kirk memorial, man, Erica Kirk talked about she forgave the alleged assassin.
I heard that.
And then Trump came up after him and said, Erica, I'm sorry. I hate my enemy. It's like, so yeah, he does outright contradict things.
But you got these so-called Christians that they got that dollar in their hand, that money in their hand. They say, "In God we trust" on that money.
Yeah. So everybody's got to be perfect.
And supposed to have a real God in their heart.
Mm-hmm.
Then they look at that money and look at this over there and look back over there and say, "I'm going to trust this money because." if I stand up and say something, I may lose this money job right here.
Are you saying people are sinners?
Money is more important than their damn soul, in other words, to a lot of folks.
No, I mean, there are people that fall into the sin of greed. That's certainly true.
I know ain't nobody perfect, nothing like that right there. I'm not, that's not what I'm saying, but the
And
ones
don't
that
you have people that are friends that you love, that you generally support, and sometimes you'll be like, well, I mean, we tried to tell Tom about that, but Tom just keeps on talking. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to cut him off over a few naughty words or a few flaws or faults in him? Or am I going to be his friend?
Well, it appears that, other folks can do stuff and get away with like some folks do, nowadays. And I used to hear this so-called Republican Party dog out people in the past when they cuss on TV and say something nasty or something like that. They get gold and stone, like they said back in the Bible. They might want to, if they could do it and get away, they had to stone them to death if they could get away with it, probably.
Well, if we keep having leprosy outbreaks, maybe we need to bring it back. Sorry, that was a callback. Like there was a leprosy outbreak in Florida, so maybe we need to get a little more hardcore about things.
Then you got folks taking away kids vaccines, stuff like that. That's people.
What do you
that's
mean
not
taking away
doctors.
kids? The kids were longing for 72 vaccines.
Well,
taking them away. What are you talking about, man?
We got DEI. People.
See, and that's a perfect example of the Marxist stuff. DEI. It's straight up Marxist.
We got DEI people over our medical things nowadays, and just coming in, taking vaccines away without no kind of, understanding of what the hell they doing about it.
Do you understand the words you're using? What do you mean DEI people came in and took away the vaccine?
Well, all I heard when they got rid of the people in it that was at the White House in the past, that they were the damn DEI hires. Now, these in there now that not doing a damn thing that was used to work on Fox News are DEI hires because they don't qualify for the damn position. That's my point I'm making, sir.
Yeah, but they weren't hired for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Well, hell, you can call it what you want to. The same.
No, and also the people in the medical,
they're not hiring up for they were the best for the job. They hiring up for other reasons. So
but
I'm gonna add my part
RFK Jr. was hired because he was the lead public spokesman for this Make America Healthy Again thing that included skepticism not only about certain vaccine schedules, but all sorts of other aspects of why Americans are so sick. And then you look at like the folks that are running a lot of things, like Jay Bhattacharya is a top, I think, Stanford doctor, epidemiologist, like who is very qualified and who was right about COVID.
I mean, what my boy Carlson, he would have served well in that damn position.
Tucker
Carlson would have served well. Now, he just happened to be black, but hell, he would have served good in that position.
Oh, Ben Carson.
Over this guy right here. Ben Carson,
no, we need to make Ben Carson, who is an honorable, beautiful man, brilliant man, great Christian, but we need to make Ben Carson the head of Department of NAPS. Every time I hear that man speak, it's like a lullaby.
But what I'm saying, George, he got more experience in the medical field than this old boy, doesn't he?
I mean, he was a brain surgeon, yeah. But
okay, well, I'm saying he would have done a better job.
But it's not like you're doing operations as the head of HHS. You're running a massive bureaucracy full of lawyers and political hacks and all sorts of stuff.
He's more smarter and brighter, and I feel they've been a better fit for that spot right there. What I'm saying, dude.
Yeah, but then if Trump nominates him to that, it's like, well, there's good old Uncle Tom again. And it's like, I can't win anyway.
But he did hire Pam Bondi. He did hire what's the other one that got fired? The one that ride the horse and all that, shooting dogs.
Kristi Noem,
yeah. And the other one that used to be on Fox News that came out alive about, we got so much evidence that this guy cut that fool, and we got it. The man said, do you really have something? Yes, we do. We got it. We're going to line it up and count it all out to you little by little.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that one? See, that one saying, DEI hires right here.
You could say they're unqualified, but I mean, who's qualified for any of this nonsense at this point?
All right.
Anyway,
Mr. Joe, you have a great Rest of your afternoon, sir.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
That was a great conversation. Thank you. Anyway, Doug Jones is tired of being called a commie. This communist bull is really interesting. Yeah, I don't think it's on the same level, Doug. I don't think it's on the same level at all. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you whether you're looking to buy or sell houses, property here in the River Region real estate market. Bo's been working in the Montgomery and surrounding areas for half a century now. So you know he's got the experience and the team that can help you out buying and selling. But, of course, they can also help you out there at the Goodson Group with management services. Should you want to rent out your home, rent out your property, great idea in this market. Why not for a reasonable fee? Have the Goodson Group manage it for you, turn it into a performing asset where you don't have the hassle of actually having to run the thing and check on the tenants and do all the paperwork and that stuff. No, you still own the place, but the Goodson Group manages it for you. So if you want to learn more, whether you're looking to buy, sell, turn a property into a rental investment, check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor of the program. Yeah, but I guess that's what we got Tommy and John. We got Tommy John running on the Republican side. We've got the micromodal underwear tag team of governor and lieutenant governor, though really, what does the lieutenant governor even do in Alabama anymore? The legislature over the years is so new to that position. What good is it even for? Just sit there and look sad on the carpet? But then you've got Doug and Philip Insler. So you got Doug and Phil, but I think Doug and Skeeter is a better way to go about it because the Doug sign, well, I just can't take it that seriously. Perhaps I'm not even taking most of this seriously. Because unless hell freezes over, the vast majority of the state's going to vote for Coach Tuberville and John Wall and pretty much all the Republican nominees in the general election. There will be some question. I will say the most competitive might very well be District 2. I think it would be real dumb to underestimate Shamari figures, to underestimate Congressman figures. Just credits where credits due. Now, there's much more of an advantage in this brand new district for Republicans. And it's fascinating, ain't it, that the districting, a lot of decisions are made before you ever go get to make a decision as a voter. But that should be a competitive race, whether it's Brett Marcus or Hampton Harris. Maybe David Matthews shocks the world. Who knows? Get out there and vote. Today is special primary election day. And given there aren't a lot of people out there voting, we're talking in the hundreds in some polling places, not the thousands, means your vote's going to count that much more. You can decide who will be the Republican heading into the general election. And given what I just said, that most, well, general elections are pretty much settled business given the amount of conservative folks in the state voting for Republicans statewide. Well, why not vote when the action is happening in these primaries? But, you know, kids went back to school, so maybe you got more important things to do. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Final hour coming up. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to talk about, but we'll find something to kick around. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Former NIH Director Anthony Fauci is facing renewed criticism following the release of private text messages about COVID vaccines and pregnancy. Fauci told the Surgeon General and the CDC director the vaccine could theoretically be linked to miscarriages. Despite that concern, he continued to recommend vaccinations for pregnant women. U.S. stocks drifting below recent records while oil prices keep swinging on uncertainty about when the war with Iran will allow crude to flow freely once again. Most of the major indexes have spent the day in negative territory. Right now, it is a Dow off by 106 points, and Nasdaq down 134. President Trump has extended a waiver for 90 days, allowing foreign ships to transport goods among U.S. ports. That includes oil, fertilizers, and other fossil fuel products. This is SRN News.
Are you tired of feeling lousy? Maybe you had a scare at your last checkup or just walking hurts? When enough is enough, call PhD Weight Loss. When I had enough 4 years and 53 pounds ago, I knew I couldn't do it alone. I'm Mike Gallagher for PhD Weight Loss. Best phone call I ever made. They were right with me. They still are today. Right now, mention Mike. You'll get 2 free weeks added to the program, and they'll pay for the cost of your food. $1,500 value. Call 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Maybe this is you too. There is enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It's amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why Medi-Share is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and Medi-Share is proven. And yeah, you could save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Here's the number. They're easy to talk to. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Mr. Electric of Montgomery. Mr. Electric, we've got the power to make things better. Visit MrElectric.com.
Rich Thomas Weather.
It's a different day, but it's the same story. Look for a sun and cloud mix today with a high temperature up to the middle 90s. And with that crazy humidity, look for heat indices in the 102 to 105 range easy. Lows at night in the mid 70s. And stop me if you heard this. There will be scattered, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Feast or famine. And that'll be the story every day this week with middle 90s each day expected and dangerous heat indices. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
More details are emerging when it comes to Blount County Sheriff Mark Moon and his sudden announcement this week that he was resigning and not running for re-election this November. Moon is asking for his name to be taken off the November ballot. Moon and his wife now say that the family has suffered mental and physical stress due to outrageous lies being posted against them. Moon says his family has been subjected to this burden due to his job as sheriff. Moon says this has negatively affected the health and well-being of his family, and he is choosing them over his job. Moon and his wife Kelly have been married for 26 years and have 3 children. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
An inmate was found dead inside his cell in the Jefferson County Jail. That inmate is identified as Gregory Johnson of Moody. An autopsy has already been conducted with no evidence of foul play being found. The actual cause of death is yet to be determined pending lab results. The Hoover City Council voted against a proposal to de-annex property from the city and make it part of unincorporated Shelby County. This was being requested by Trinity Presbyterian Church so they could develop 7 acres into a school. City Council member Steve McClinton told 1819 News after the vote that Trinity Presbyterian needed to do more when it comes to the conditional use application process to the city, but also that the city needed to do a better job in removing red tape that has been making it harder for businesses and organizations to operate in Hoover. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You hear that? Neither do we. That's exactly how your roof should sound during a storm. No drips, no buckets, no worries. When Capital City Roofing replaces your roof, they're not simply installing a roof, they're giving your family peace of mind every time the clouds roll in. Protect your home with craftsmanship you can trust. Call 334-277-3311 or visit CapitalCityRoofing.com. Capital City Roofing, roofs built right, relationships built to last.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Beyond the forecast with meteorologist Ben Lang on the 2023 Selma tornado.
We were here in the studio. The tornado didn't hit us. We were just fine. We're still able to go to work the next day. But for other people, their lives have been upended. That's really tough. It is a big deal to be able to use my knowledge about what's going on with the weather to hopefully be able to keep folks safe.
Ben Lang, part of the Action 8 Weather Team, your weather authority.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So let's talk about stoners. People that smoke a lot of weed. Though it may not be that you have to smoke a lot of weed all the time to end up with this condition. But some regular tokers are being hit with a debilitating stomach pain, severe nausea, and constant vomiting mixed with screaming. It's a condition that's earning the unfortunate nickname scromiting. The vomiting and screaming and vomiting. And apparently ERs are seeing far more cases identified since October of last year. The scary symptoms are a result of cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, CHS, a gut-wrenching disorder that also triggers relentless nausea and abdominal pain, with vomiting or retching striking up to 4 or 5 times an hour. Oh. And those affected are showing up in the emergency rooms more often, or at least they're being identified more often. From January 2023 through September 2025, a CDC report found the rate of ER visits involving CHS remained largely steady, but from October 2025 through May of 2026, it jumped 370%. Now, is this because it's happening more, or are we just identifying it? Well, it's the latter. We're just identifying it. There was a specific diagnosis code for CHS created, introduced in October of 2025, making the condition easier for doctors to identify and track. The change was immediate. In 1 month alone, from September 25 to October of 25, CHS-involved ER visits jumped from 3.35 per 10,000 to 11.26 per 10,000. It notched up further to 13.1 per 10,000 by May. The code has created more awareness of the condition, which previously may have been misdiagnosed as something else. Yeah, a lot of doctors think it's some other GI issue. But previously, the syndrome was thought to occur only in heavy cannabis users, especially those who indulge on a daily basis for years on end. but emerging evidence suggests symptoms can occur much sooner than previously estimated, potentially within the first year of cannabis use, according to the CDC authors. And younger people, especially those ages 15 to 24 and females, accounted for a disproportionate share of CHS-involved ER visits. The form of cannabis consumed may also make an impact on how quickly the symptoms start. You think? Like, why are you going for the most hardcore stuff? Like, relax, man. This is not about, like, going to the moon. Unless, I guess, you're into that sort of thing. But a study published in Cannabis and Cannabinoid Research found that those who use electronic vape cartridges develop chronic vomiting much faster than smoking or edibles. Oh, so you're saying the vape is bad for you, whether there's cannabis in it or not. The finding comes as vaping usage increases, with at least 15 million teens now using electronic cigarettes. For those who suffer from CHS, scromiting episodes can hit within 24 hours after smoking or consuming edibles. According to prior research, ER cases had already doubled between 2017 and 2021, affecting around 2.75 million people in the U.S. Complications from this condition can arise, including erosion of tooth enamel, acute kidney injury, electrolyte imbalances, dehydration, weight loss, and even seizures, kidney failure, or death because you're vomiting all the time. So if you know somebody who's been spewing chunks, or maybe not much of anything, just dry heaving and screaming, now you might know the cause. Like smoking too much weed, or you smoked too much weed for too long, or I don't know. Some people are affected that way. Now, there are other folks who smoke weed every day, hey. And though they probably eat too much and lack motivation in other ways, they never get the scromiting. Yeah, and then there's some people that smoke weed a few times and they get the schizophrenia. So, I think that has to do with being, primed for it, so to speak. Anyway, what a mess. What a mess. And just throw it at another example of somebody just texted me, are you talking to me? Well, I don't know if I'm talking about you. I've never heard you vomit or scream at the same time, person texting me, so maybe I'm not talking about you. You know, maybe there are some folks out there that can hit that vape all day, and they're fine. You wouldn't even notice. In fact, you'd notice if they didn't. You'd see the real animal come out of them. And no, I'm not texting with Mike Tyson. But yeah, no, I've actually, without going into too much detail, saw a buddy who had this issue. And it's horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Like, I hated to see him go through it. But there wasn't much you could do. There's some folks that say, like, a warm shower or bath tends to ease it. But it's got to be, you get to the bottom of it, what exactly is going on with this, and that's the problem. Sometimes also with, doing too much of this, anything. But prohibition. Like, you saw this effect with alcohol where you got more potency. Higher alcohol by volume during the Prohibition era, and once even the Prohibition's lifted, the higher volume stuff doesn't go away. And I think you've seen the same thing with weed, with marijuana, with cannabis, that there are just people have created this THC fetish. Whereas I don't think that's actually the right way to go. I mean, you could just be sober and teetotal, so to speak, but that ain't no fun. That ain't no fun at all. But just wanted to share that with you folks, that scromiting from smoking too much weed is on the rise. Now, this is a study, a write-up, from New York Times Magazine, saying the most powerful men in America are eating only steak and sauerkraut. And so this writer wondered, could I eat like RFK Jr. for a week? He said the results were fascinating. This guy's named Willie Staley. That doesn't seem like a real name. Willie Staley? And he says, it was a little less than 30 minutes into a video call with Sean O'Mara, the trim and handsome 63-year-old doctor who has reportedly been giving dietary advice to several members of the Trump cabinet, when he pulled up an image of two liquids the color of radiator fluid. This vibrant yellow-green, O'Mara explained, occupies a specific attention-getting wavelength. Soda companies use that color to get people to buy, he said, gesturing to the first liquid, which was Mountain Dew. Your brain kind of lights up. You're like, wow, that's cool stuff. He directed my attention to the other liquid, roughly the same color, and in a jar. Do you know what that is? He asked me. No, I said. That's urine. He said, that's urine from a human being. The strong implication was that it was his. Passing urine this color is a good thing, O'Mara said, and it started happening to him 6 years ago, a byproduct of his diet. Why are you on a video call? Like, that's not normal. I guess it's normal for an investigative reporter, but, like, you're on a video call and some guy's like, hey, you want to see my jar of my own pee? Seems a little nuts. But he says, yeah, it's a good thing, and it happened to him 6 years ago, a byproduct of his diet, which compromises almost exclusively steak and fermented foods. The Wall Street Journal reported in June that Robert F. Kennedy Jr., J.D. Vance, Howard Lutnick, and Sean Duffy had all taken up the O'Mara program. J.D. Vance is an all-meat fella. Kennedy has credited it with reducing his visceral fat load by 40%. The president has reportedly taken notice of Vance's slimming figure. I understand the appeal of a radical and radically simple dietary intervention. Last year, facing down 40, frustrated both with my body and with the sudden appearance of miraculous fat-melting drugs, I stopped eating carbohydrates and started running a lot in the mornings. I lost something like 25 pounds this way. Naturally, I was intrigued by the existence of a more powerful and manly diet for more powerful and manly people. So I joined the cabinet for a week anyway. Well, that's probably not going to be long enough, Willie, but let's hear how it affected you. O'Mara calls it the living diet. You eat nothing but the flesh of grass-fed ruminants. That's cows, yes, but also bison, elk, and venison. And as many different fermented foods as possible because their bacteria help repopulate your gut, which he says improves your metabolism, leading to weight loss. Wild-caught seafood is cool, too, but ruminants are best, O'Mara says, because they ferment what they eat in their many stomachs. He wanted me eating fermented beets, carrots, and radishes, Roquefort and Parmesan, yogurt, kefir, and kvass, whatever that is. He showed me a picture of his typical plate of food. It looked as if a steak had been dropped on a painter's easel, studded as it was with multi-hued hillocks of fermented vegetables. I have a refrigerator that has about 20 to 30 ferments, and I just get little bits of each one, he explains. I'm just rubbing this meat around and all that bacteria. You know, maybe these guys are onto something because I mentioned, people are doing well on it. But sometimes it's a little gross. Don't be talking about rubbing your meat and bacteria. That's weird. Showing people jars of your own pee. But it turns out a breakfast of ground beef with a pile of kimchi and a fried egg is frankly invigorating. But lunch, by virtue of having to take place near the Times building in Midtown Manhattan, allowed me to really spread my wings. I found my way to the skirt steak from a Spanish restaurant, which could be secured off menu and mercifully to go. I would drag my jar of kimchi, plastic trays of fermented bachan, and a wedge of Roquefort, what is that, cheese, like a blue cheese, to a shared lounge area, and hope the staff of the Times Magazine across the way didn't notice my grotesque feeding ritual. At times, I hoped someone would ask what I was doing, just so I could explain that I'm not normally like this. They never did. Setting aside the magic of fermented foods, the diet also seems to operate by straightforward math. There are barely any calories in kimchi, and it's actually pretty hard to eat that much beef, even or especially if it's all you're eating. It's as high in satiety as nearly any protein you can find. As the week wore on, the mere thought of my next meal of metallic, tangy beef would almost turn my stomach. I was putting away about 1.5 pounds of meat most days, and even that was well below quote-unquote maintenance, or the amount of calories my body would need before turning elsewhere for fuel. I ran The Basics of the Diet by Marion Nestle of New York University, whose views on nutrition are more mainstream than O'Mara's. While she questioned his claims about fermented foods improving metabolism, Nestle agreed that the diet would be effective as a temporary route to weight loss, providing you kept up caloric intake below maintenance. I can't think of any nutrients that would be missing from this, she said, but it just sounds boring to me. Now, and there is a thing, folks, to elimination diets. Like, you just find a simple thing that you want to eat that's not too bad for you, that satisfies you, and it kind of works out. Now, this guy's mistake that I'm reading from, he started running. Don't run, man. Like, maybe run a little bit, do a little bit of cardio, but all that running, you're going to end up deflated. Anyway, one interesting thing about the carbohydrates, they really do supply your body with a readily available source of energy, and if you don't eat them, exercising will feel as if someone has turned the gravity up. You can feel the weight of your legs, your shoes, everything. Your body adjusts eventually, but you're never as fast. Eating pasta, by contrast, makes you feel spring-loaded. I don't know. Like, this sort of, I should try it. To the guy who came up with this, O'Mara, the diet is not just a temporary means of losing weight, but a way to eat for good. He has been doing it for 10 years. 10 years without pasta? 10 years of steak and kimchi? I mean, I like steak, don't get me wrong. And what type of steak are we talking? Does it have to be skirt steak or something leaner, or can you do a fatty ribeye all the time? But he's been doing it for 10 years. Credits this diet with turning his life around. At one point in our conversation, he pulled up the Bristol stool chart, which ranges from type 1 to type 7. O'Mara is consistently delivering type 4. Okay, this guy's gross, man. He's not only holding up bottles of urine, he's describing his own movements. I mean, he makes a good point, though. These are gross things, and everybody has bodily functions, I would hope, except for the literal demons out there. But, you know, there are bodily functions in every household, and people feel uncomfortable talking about it, I suppose. So if you can get your routine and your everything regulated, I suppose there's nothing wrong with that. As this guy finishes up saying, as it happened, I had a dinner party to go to on Friday, the last full day of my diet. I felt good. I was taut and energetic, in control. I had some fresh ideas about this whole Strait of Hormuz situation. Then I had 2 martinis and situated myself at the dinner table, so my guard was down when before me landed a glistening bowl of linguine with clams, big old salad, a heaping platter of roasted vegetables, and bread baked by the host with butter softened in the July heat. My 18 meals had been beef and ferments. The scent of the clams was intoxicating. I caved within 10 seconds, eating all of it heartily. I barely had a room for the main course, which was, what else? Steak. I don't know. I think it could work. There's all sorts of different ways dieting and all this stuff could work. And if you really like steak, probably not the worst diet in the world, but I love steak, but I don't think I could do it every day. That's a lot of beef to have to prepare constantly. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of kimchi or all that other fermented stuff. Maybe cheese. It's pretty good. Anyway, 272-9228. Have you tried out the all-meat diet? 272-9228. How about this? Let's hit a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of healthcare you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have, Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Do you suffer every time you try to wear good-looking shoes, but you don't want to wear ugly shoes just because they're comfortable? The Good Feet store wants to help you wear heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil, one simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to metamucil.com for more details.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Sam. Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Hey, Joey, thank you for taking my call. Oh, 1 second. Let me get y'all. Oh, dang it. How's that?
Yeah, you sound clear.
Okay, yeah, I'd forgotten I had.
At least
Bluetooth
the phone
on.
connection does.
Yes, sir. All right, well, dynamite. I want to be heard. No, I was number 26 at the polling spot in Banks, Alabama. And, you know, they had one position. You know, they had. I went with Hampton Harris. Can't pronounce that man's name.
Well, you just voted, and there were only 26 people who voted at that particular polling place?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've seen it as high as, I think, 160, 180.
Okay, so it's a small polling place, but still, you're talking magnitudes less. Wow.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm glad I went. The people, it was good. Man, hey, one day maybe there'll be an actual government sponsor get out the vote effort. You know, you go vote, and I don't know, maybe they deliver your mail one extra day or something. But hey, Joey, only other thing I was thinking about when you were bringing that up about the different foods, the
like
meat
the
diet.
all meat diet with fermented things? Yeah.
That's it, because the strength to cut back on carbohydrates. I try to occasionally, because it's out of hand. But I'm not exercising nearly as much as I used to. But,
yeah, I'm going 5-6 days a week, and I've just learned I got to have some carbs.
Yeah.
I just don't go too crazy with it.
I remember, when I was reading and learning about ancient Americans, Mayans, whatnot, how important corn was to them. I got to thinking about, well, make it a grit diet. Grit might just be, it's high in protein, and it's,
Man, the only way I end up liking grits is like it just you got to put a lot of butter and salt and pepper in there to make grits and cheese, all the stuff that ain't the grit.
Hey, let's go ahead and say it. I love them Southern style with the salt and pepper, and I love them Yankee style. Love them grit. But
what about the shrimp and grits sort of thing?
Man, load me up.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Dive right in. No,
bunch of cream and butter and spice in there with that shrimp.
Grit is it's my Southern food. And, but you were talking about the kimchi earlier. I think I told that story before. I had fermented cabbage. I think on Bruton. That's a staple. When you're way out in the boonies, brother, somebody's gonna have a flat rock, some kind of fire or propane under it, and they're gonna have tortillas and kimchi on top. And I saw that in a nice truck stop gas station in Saudi Arabia. They sure did. This guy in the back, he was clean. He had a propane burner and a flat rock, and he said, "Yeah, it was good stuff." And it's the same thing out in Jungleville, Salvador. Anyway, I'm just going off now, but yeah.
You ever run into the scrobbing problem where somebody smokes a lot of weed, ends up vomiting and screaming at the same time, 4 to 5 times an hour?
Oh, just yesterday morning. Oh, it was awful, Joey. I've blamed it on Pizza Hut, but I think it was that dang bad OC. No, I don't know, man. I haven't been pot sick in 30 years, so there you go.
Well, there you go.
Man, I was trying to think. I don't have anything else, brother. I'm about to head to Montgomery. I'm loaded down. Number 26. Get out and vote.
Well, folks, your vote's going to make a big difference. Not many people out there doing it. It's going to count for a lot. Well, I appreciate it, Sam.
Yeah, man, I gotta go in here. All right. Peace, brother.
Later. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Now, yesterday we covered this in depth. But this is just to refresh your memory. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, who is freezing her eggs, apparently, and announcing that publicly. Good for you, lady. She said this on ABC with Jonathan Karl because he's like, you still a commie? Or are you still, what about all the crazy stuff you said back in 2020, AOC?
I have a local city councilman that has this saying, woke one was crazy.
Woke one was crazy.
And I think that what's important is that we have to assess what
was it. I mean, did the movement go too
now.
far with some of those positions? I mean, you briefly supported the idea of defunding the police.
Well, I think that during this time and especially during COVID, there was a huge opening of the Overton window. We were shut down.
Yeah, it was a huge opportunity, but woke one was crazy, right, guys?
Local city councilman that has this saying, woke one was crazy.
It's not that great of a saying, number one. It's not much of a saying at all. I don't know why you had to attribute it to somebody. I guess it's because he's a local city councilman. Good for him coming up with something that's useful. But that's what, of course, AOC had to say on Sunday when she was asked about fellow Democratic Socialist of America member Francesca Hung, who's running for governor in Wisconsin. Hung has a colorful, mostly deleted now, Twitter feed ranging from demands to cancel Thanksgiving to hating white people to eliminating the police. But AOC suggests we should overlook all these radical statements because they emerged from the turmoil of 2020 where, it was just crazy, man. Like, the Overton window was wide open, so we were just going for it, man. But, of course, it's not just Hung in Wisconsin. It's this Abdul El Sayed fella, Michigan's Democrat nominee for U.S. Senate. Doesn't want to address any of the nutty things his endorser and pal Hassan Piker has said, such as calling October 7th victim reports of sexual violence, quote-unquote, rape fantasies, praising 9/11 as America's just desserts, or calling for the streets to run red with landlord blood. We need to move beyond gotcha politics, frets Abdul. We're so stuck in cancel culture that all of us agree was a bad idea back in 2020. Okay. So they think the cancel culture they can impose was a bad idea, or that woke one was crazy. Does that mean they no longer hold those opinions? Well, no. That's just like, it's just an excuse, man. We were just crazy. The Overton window was wide open while we shut down the entire economy and all religious activity and pretty much anything of a normal life for people. So we thought, well, what the hell? Let's go for it. But that doesn't mean them admitting, oh, that was crazy, wasn't it? 2020 was crazy. It doesn't mean they actually have changed their mind on anything. The only real difference between woke 1 and woke 2, actually is the extra anti-Semitism. There's plenty of that. Added after Saeed's Hamas buddies invaded Israel. Oh, and woke 2 also has a tad more circumspect. Hong talks up shifting funds towards community initiatives and non-carceral approaches to crime prevention. Still exactly what the defund the police crew has demanded for a while. El Saeed said has lied repeatedly about his old defund comments, mostly wiped from his social media history, claiming they were quote-unquote clickbait. That's true. People would likely click on any radical statements if they were still up to get a sense of who he is and what he thinks. Heck, he doesn't even really disown the sentiments. So yeah, woke one was crazy, man, but I think we're all suspecting y'all are still crazy. Still a little crazy.
Woke one was crazy.
Woke one.
I'm sure somebody laughs at our stories. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be, you're tired of the mosquitoes. You should be. They're gross. They're nasty. They can ruin a good time outside. Maybe you're trying to solve the world's problems, sitting out on the front porch, back porch, walking the property, whatever, and you just keep getting the mosquitoes hitting you right on the knuckle. That one itches. That one, right on the forehead. Well, if you actually want to enjoy your yard, enjoy your property, have Pest Pro come out and then get rid of them. And, of course, they can schedule it to where it's seasonal, where you're not doing it year-round. You don't need it year-round. When the time is right, have them come out and get rid of those mosquitoes. And, of course, Pest Pro has this great basic pest control package where they visit on a regular basis, spray around the property, and they can solve all sorts of issues for you for a reasonable monthly fee. It's a monthly subscription model. That way you control cost throughout the entire year. Say, a big problem crops up like a big fire ant colony, or, again, mosquitoes, or, God forbid, you waited too long to talk about termites. But, of course, Pest Pro has termite inspection and prevention, long-term prevention. And that's the idea, is like you want to get on top of all these issues before a problem truly festers and it becomes even more expensive, whether it's termites or, God forbid, like animals in your attic or something, like a squirrel's just tearing things up, nesting up there. Pest Pro can handle it. So check them out today. You can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com or call direct 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. How to find the right mortgage lender. Most of all single-family sales involve obtaining a mortgage loan to finance the sale. How do you know you have the right lender? First, always use a local lender. There is no out-of-state lender that can match the services and the interest prices your local lender can provide to you here. We have many good quality lenders to choose from here in the River Region. Some guidelines for a buyer would be, 1, can I meet face-to-face with the lender, get to know that person before I turn over all my personal information to a complete stranger. Next, depending on your needs and price range, try to get more than one option with financing to choose from. Very important to know what are all the closing costs and prepaid costs up front so I can make an informed decision on which program to use. For help with a list of top lenders, call Bo Goodson for help. Bo Goodson, 221-2883 at the Goodson Group.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Hey there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. Our partnership with Blue Water Broadcasting has reached thousands of listeners in the River Region. People listen, people call. Now, there's mortgage savings for us all.
Radio reaches over 90% of everyone in the River Region. Shouldn't your ads be out there where your customers are? Call us to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
We are not expecting many weather changes in the next few days. This evening there will be some random storms roaming around. Your chance of seeing one are small, but not zero. Overnight low temperature in the mid-70s. Tomorrow we'll do it again with highs in the middle 90s. Heat indices easily in the 102 to 105 range. In fact, that's the story for the rest of the week, with more random showers and storms for some lucky towns, but many towns get skipped. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, a second ago, I mentioned this El Said fella, this guy who's going to be the Democrat nominee in Michigan. I think Tuberville called him a jihadist the other day, so did Trump. Well, here he is talking about, because Tuberville's been all about this, banning Sharia. Well, this is him talking about how when Oklahoma tried to ban Sharia, and this guy is going to be a Democrat nominee for United States Senate in November. Let's listen in.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Clear enough. Yes. Sold. Now he starts talking in English.
Question 755. When the state of Oklahoma voted in a referendum to amend the Constitution to ban Sharia law. What does that mean? I don't know.
What does that mean? I don't know. Well, on November 2nd, 2010, Oklahoma voters approved State Question 755 by a wide margin. About 70% voted yes. It was a legislatively referred constitutional amendment that would have changed Article 7, Section 1 of the Oklahoma Constitution. The key language required courts, when exercising judicial authority, to uphold and adhere only to the U.S. Constitution and Oklahoma Constitution, the U.S. Code and federal regulations, establish common law, Oklahoma statutes and rules, and, if necessary, the law of another U.S. state, provided that state's law did not include Sharia law. It explicitly stated that courts shall not look to the legal precepts of other nations or cultures. Specifically, the court shall not consider international law or Sharia law. Sharia was defined on the ballot as Islamic law based on two principal sources, the Quran and the teachings of Muhammad. International law was described as the law of nations. Again, 70% of folks in Oklahoma voted for this. They said it's a preemptive measure against activist judges applying foreign or Islamic legal principles and against what they called the threat of Sharia gaining a foothold, citing concerns about developments in Europe. Critics, of course, Muslim groups being prominent among the critics, argued it singled out Islam for special disapproval and was unnecessary. It never went into effect because essentially, long and short of it, is in 2013, a judge issued a permanent injunction against it. Found it conveyed official disapproval of Islam, was not religiously neutral, and that the state had shown no evidence of any actual problem it was solving. Okay. But, so nothing's gone in effect of that way like Oklahoma. But he said, I don't even know what that is. Well, we just explained what the voters proved, essentially saying you got to use the U.S. Constitution. You got to use our own legal traditions. And so in other states, they have enacted and enforced, these has not been struck down by the courts, they've enforced laws that restrict courts from applying foreign law, including religious legal systems such as Sharia, when doing so would violate U.S. or state constitutional rights or public policy. Often these laws essentially said they avoid naming Sharia explicitly, unlike Oklahoma's 2010 measure, so they are written more neutrally and have generally survived or avoided the kind of First Amendment challenges that killed the Oklahoma version. They typically say courts may not apply or enforce foreign law, a foreign judgment, or a choice of law clause if it would violate rights under the U.S. Constitution or in the state constitution. They have been on the books and in effect for years in a number of states. States frequently listed as having such laws in effect include, well, at the top of the list, Alabama. 2014 constitutional amendment, but Arizona, Kansas, Louisiana, North Carolina, especially in family law cases, South Dakota, Tennessee, and Texas. And in Florida, just recently, in April 2026, Governor DeSantis signed HB 1471. It took effect on July 1st of this year. The law prohibits courts, agencies, and other tribunals from applying foreign law or religious law explicitly defined to include Sharia, if doing so would violate a person's constitutional rights. And that law is currently in force. But again, this guy was saying, like, I don't even know what this means. It must be like bigotry. It must be like this just bigoted conquest of...
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Sure.
Question 755.
Yes.
When the state of Oklahoma voted in a referendum to amend the Constitution to ban Sharia law, what does that mean? I don't know. And yet the voters banned it anyway. And I don't have to tell you that the same exact...
No, it said that you can't use that in our courts. And other states have explicitly stated this is what that means. But they don't even know what they're voting for. They don't even understand us, man.
Forces that drove native peoples from their land.
What? Wait, this is the... Hold on.
And I don't have to tell you that the same exact forces that drove native peoples from their land 2 centuries ago, destroyed Black Wall Street a century ago, bombed a building decades ago, and tried to ban Sharia law not a decade ago, that those forces are alive and well today.
Yeah, but there's this thing where I would be like, I really don't want Sharia or any other foreign standards imputed into American jurisprudence and our common law tradition. but especially something like Sharia because it's not true. That remains my number one concern with Islam. It's false. It's one of the weirdest Christian heresies ever to become ascendant. One that sadly still dominates most of the cradle of the Christian movement. Many of the earliest churches still dominated by Islam. So my problem was it's just not true. And so, of course, I don't want your religious precepts sneaking into our courts. A lot of people agree. Now, I'm happy to admit that there are a lot of people who are Muslim or Christian or whatever, Hindu, Jewish, Buddhist, whatever, who are that way because they just kind of like born into it. They inherited it. So they are that way because everybody else around them's that way, and why am I going to rock? Who cares? What's on the football screen today? Like, who's playing this Saturday? So I don't think it's wise to just go ahead and be mean to individual people of whatever background. And you should take the opportunity where you say these things are false. You should say, well, actually, but these things are right, but you need to get the fundamentals down along with the things you got right. Like, there is some common ground. But this sort of idea that it's all equal, baby. Yeah, under the First Amendment, people have freedom to believe all sorts of stuff. But it doesn't mean everything that people believe is all equally true. It's not. (272-9228) 334-272-9228. But it is interesting how he, in order to advance the certain aspects of the Islamic community have just teamed up with the progressives, and they will use the progressive language all day, every day. You got to wonder, though, how long that'll be true, though. Hold true. How long will the progressive language be used to, to carve out all these things for minorities? And it's not like, folks in history have constantly appealed to liberties to then turn around and take them away. Anyway, in America, this is more an immigration problem. In Europe, it's a whole other bigger problem. 272-9228. Again, if you want to get on the conversation. I got to hit a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
A new year brings new opportunities, and right now the market is starting to shift.
Interest rates are beginning to come down, which means more buying power and more options for buyers who've been waiting.
If you're thinking about buying a home, this could be the moment to take that next step.
And whether you're buying, selling, or investing, having experience on your side matters more than ever.
At Hannah and Eddie Realty Group, we're also growing our team.
If you're an experienced agent ready to make a difference in this market and want to be part of a team that values knowledge, support, and results, call Hannah and Eddie Realty Group, where opportunity meets experience.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Got Ray Bowles on the line, so let's go right to him. Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm sitting here with my good buddy Gus Maxey. You want to say hello to everybody on the radio, Gus? Hello, everybody on the radio.
Hello, Gus.
He's the best. Listen, you need him in your phone all the time, because if you do something stupid and end up in jail, he's a bail bondsman. He can come get you.
All right. Okay.
I choose my friends wisely.
Yeah, you probably need it too. I know what you're up to.
Yeah. You always need a good bail bondsman in your telephone. But you got to memorize his phone, because if you do something stupid, you don't want the cops open it for you and hand it to you, and then they have access to your phone.
Yeah, you got football season coming up.
Yeah, you got football season. He's a big Auburn fan.
War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
His whole impression just changed.
Yeah, he ain't going to get me out of the jam at this point.
We're actually sitting here. He's got the best-looking Corvette you've ever seen in your life. He has tons of trophies, and now we're working on fixing up the trailer. So we're going to put this red carpet on the walls, black on the floor, black in the back, and see if we can't figure out how to put an emblem in there for the Corvette. So if you have any kind of project like that, call us at 285-8117. We'll be glad to help you with it.
Again, that's 285-8117. They can get pretty creative with what they can do for you there. And when you call them up at 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray on the radio with that Joey fella.
All right, guys. Well, Dad's calling me. He never keeps up with what time it is.
I'll talk to you tomorrow. Appreciate it, Ray.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Bye.
Again, Ray Bowles, Prattville Carpet. And also, before I forget, this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And, of course, if you go to their Facebook page, you can see this amazing necklace there from Leslie's inventory. Leslie does a great job putting together a great stock of items over there, from high-end, one-of-a-kind items, often on special sale, like what they got going on right now with this necklace, off at $300 off, I believe. And it's a great deal, one-of-a-kind piece. So you can find one-of-a-kind items there in their selection at Dillon Rings, but also everyday items that still look great, but they're not going to break the bank or break your heart, or maybe you're trying to do some starter jewelry for a little lady in your life. They can help you out in that regard. And, of course, beyond just shopping what they have direct, you could get custom design work done, like this pendant I am hanging around my neck. It was a beauty working with Josh. Josh the jeweler is truly an artist and a bit of a scientist as well. He can bring to life whatever you might dream up. He can make it a reality. And not to mention they can do repair work, spa treatments to make your jewelry you wear all the time shine and shimmer like it's brand new again, even battery replacement on watches, or appraisals, or they buy old jewelry off you. They do it all. So check them out today. That's Dillon Rings at 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. Got some calls rolling in here. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Adam.
Hey, Adam.
We were just talking, or you were just talking about Sharia law and laws that shouldn't apply to us. Or in this case, all right, here's what I postulate. If Montgomery's going to go the way of Gotham City, does that mean I get a Batman?
Well, he's beyond the law.
I mean, well, it's the Wild West out here.
Yeah, Batman, Spider-Man, we need something.
Love you, brother. I know
Appreciate
you're up
it.
against it.
Thanks. Let's go to line two. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
I'm all right. I just felt like my buddy, my intellectual superior, was on here talking about people who like to race bait and then, tell us what we can't do and then call us racist because, you're in a different country and we don't do that here. What is the whole, what's the whole deal, man? I don't understand. Like, I'm pretty down the middle of the road kind of guy about most things. I want to hear both sides of it.
Sure.
And I saw this thing the other day where these people were talking about, well, y'all stole the land from people, and I didn't understand what their argument was, but I've heard it a couple of times where we got rid of the Indians, or we moved the Indians and we took over their country, and therefore we've got no right to tell people who can be here and who can't be here and what they can and cannot do. What is the basis for that argument? I mean, and what do you tell people about that?
I would say it kind of sounds like a personal problem, and
well, clearly,
I mean, like, if we're gonna do that, it's like, well, it's all been unfair since Cain killed Abel, right? Like somebody stole this, or somebody took that piece of land, and somebody blah, 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 blah. And it's, you act like the Native Americans weren't killing each other.
No, Joey, never. Comanches were completely peaceful.
Well, and there's a thing. I would hope we all get to heaven where there's no war. But empires rise and fall, nations rise and fall, wars often settle these things, and I think people live in such a privileged environment that they think they can essentially rehash something that means war again. And it's a really, I don't know, it's a guilt trip sort of thing. It's like the original sin of America, killed the Native Americans and enslaved a whole population. And it's like, okay, pick another part of the world where the natives were killed and the whole populations were enslaved. I believe Slavic peoples are called Slavic because how enslaved they were.
I don't want to talk about that. They don't have the right mountain count to be considered slaves.
Right. But, there's all that sort of crap. Anyway, I don't know. Like, it's kind of it's a very new lefty sort of version of history. It's been around for a while.
You know what I can't wait for? I can't wait till we all look like mocha coffee. I can't wait. I can't wait for the day.
But now you're going to get some folks riled up.
I don't care.
I don't mind having...
They can quit listening to your show, too. I don't care.
I'll fall in love with whoever I fall in love with. If they're God-fearing Catholic, I'll have khaki babies. I'll have Spanish-looking babies, Castilian, like whatever it is. I'll have pasty white babies. I don't care. As long as I find somebody who loves the Lord and we can make him the head of our life, I'm game, baby.
Of course you are, John. Good for you, buddy. But that's my hope. Then they'll be picking on blue-eyed people or brown-eyed people, and they'll find something else. But I don't know. I'm just kind of sick of that whole. I'm sick of the black, white, this race, that race, this religion, that religion. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of feeling like I'm somebody trying to make me feel like I'm supposed to feel some kind of way about something I've never done, not anything I practice personally.
Yeah.
That's the part that enrages me. It's like you can't see that is history that's in the past. And while you will find people occasionally who act like that, that is by and large not how people are. I mean, by and large.
And by the way, I'm just sitting here and did most of the show by myself. I asked for that. And I'm sitting here saying, Eddie Vader's right. Katie Britt is captivating.
Eddie's been spending too much time on the lake.
No, I've left it open. I'm like, seriously, if you're back in town, Katie, let's do a whole 3 hours. Like, I know you're busy and important and stuff, and she is. But, if you really want to get a call from, Eric the dog, hola, let's do it.
Hola.
Let's really do the talk radio thing.
I got some questions. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to hear. I don't want to hear the political. I want to hear the brass tacks. I don't want to hear the talking points. I don't want to be schmoozed. I don't want none of that. Just if you're gonna raise taxes or you're gonna do whatever it is you're gonna do, just man up and tell me. I mean, I'll take that better than you lying to me and trying to sneak it in.
Well, we've already stolen enough of Greg Budel's time, and I'm
my bad.
You steal some more?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of is this cool that I'm bringing in flowers every week, Greg?
Yes. Classy men do that.
Okay. No, the ladies, I went to a proper florist this time, and they're like, what is this for, a special occasion? We need a car? I'm like, no, it's at a radio studio, and I wanted one beautiful thing to look at in the place. And they just went, oh. But look at this place. Look at us.
I know.
We need one beautiful thing.
I've got clean shorts on.
Well, that's good.
That'll class up the joint.
Don't eat any peanut butter during the show. It won't stay that way. Anyway, I'm the same way with peanut butter, by the way. It gets all over the place if I start eating a bunch of it. Anyway, I've said too much. Eric.
All right, Joe. Adios.
Later. How are you, Craig?
Never better.
No.
Except for this frickin' heat. I'm sick of it. I want a fat cloud. I want a shower. I want something. Change it up, Rich Thomas.
You heard him, Rich. Get on it. Happy hour's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew.